What's up, Barnhill family, and welcome to another live stream. This one is UFC 327, and man, Nick, the fights have been good so far.
That's right. Yo, everybody. What's good? Welcome to the chat. Make sure you guys let us know what's going on. Y'all's thoughts on all these fights. Let us know what y'all thought about the prelims, too, because we caught most of them, and it seems like Miami is bringing the heat, to say the least, already.
Yeah, just jumping in here, making sure I got the chat live up on my phone. The biggest story so far to me, Nick, and I don't know if you agree with this, is that a calculated and composed Aaron Pico is actually a pretty damn good fighter. And I think a big part of his problem was that in years past, he would get overconfident to a degree and he would rush in. He would put himself into risky positions that he otherwise didn't need to put himself into. And in all reality, you know, if he stays composed and calculated, he can start to find his shots and use that really clean boxing. Looked really good over a former Bellator champion in Patricio Pitbull. And I think Pitbull was number 13. So you got to think Aaron Pico is now a top 15 UFC fighter come Tuesday morning.
Which is interesting. He's getting into the UFC rankings by beating another Bellator fighter. So that tells you that, you know, Bellator versus Bellator makes for entertaining fights, but I don't really know if we can give that an honest review as how good he's going to do in the UFC, seeing as Pitbull hasn't been all that successful in the UFC. And, you know, Pico, I will say this, that was the best performance he's had for sure. And it's basically being patient is what won him that fight. He's always looking to kill people and just smash through the competition. But you got to realize at that high level, especially when you're dealing with vets or you're dealing with guys who have been in the UFC for a while, you can't just walk across and disrespect their power and their experience and their durability. So the jury's still out, in my opinion, on Pico. I don't know if we can just chalk him up to being a formidable ranked contender at this point, winning against a guy who also came directly from Bellator,
and is 38 years old, you
right.
know, and is now 1-2 in the UFC.
And stylistically, Pitbull is probably the perfect matchup for Pico because Pico is one of those guys that does a lot of offense, and he looks really good when he's able to throw his offense. But Pitbull just doesn't ever seem to get going. And part of that is because he fought so many times 5 rounds in Bellator. And I think his pacing is more built for 5 rounds. But in the UFC, you got 15 minutes to work. And while I don't think if he had 10 more minutes, he would have beat Pico, I think, you know, he's one of those guys that wants to take a few rounds to really dissect what's going on and use that durability, put it to the test, show people that he can take shots, and then starts to open up a little bit. But yeah, props to Pico. He looked better than he ever has. And kids bodied up with the training lab, learning from Hamzat and Armin. So he's in the right rooms. Now he's got to win. So hopefully the confidence is there. Because, you know, he's like one of those guys where I think he's had confidence, or maybe it's like a pseudo confidence.
Or an overconfidence, which is what cost him against Lerone in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. It goes back to when you're dealing with the UFC fighters, guys who didn't come from Bellator but came straight from the UFC, it's a different level of competition. Think about Michael Venom Page. His highlight reel outside of the UFC is insane. Almost every time he fought, he was finishing people with some sort of insane KO. And then he, you know, can't find a finish in the UFC, even though he was winning. But, you know, Pico getting a win is definitely a good thing for the UFC. Obviously, when they threw him in there in his first fight against an unranked, now seemingly top contender that should be getting a title fight soon, I think that he can grow with the confidence that he just got winning in a UFC event on a numbered card, all that stuff.
Yeah, so he was the feature bout on the prelims. I believe the Kevin Holland Randy Brown fight was they're doing that kind of crossover where it's CBS has the last 2 of the prelims and then the first 2 of the main card, I believe. I think that's what they're doing. So he was just featured on CBS, looking good, beating a top 15 guy, a former champion. So to me, in a lot of ways, it's kind of now or never for Aaron Pico, right? He's 29 years old. Now he just found himself in the top 15 of the UFC rankings. Mm-hmm. It's all straight killers from here. You know, there's no easy fight in the top 15 of 145.
Right.
I would need to pull up the rankings come Tuesday morning and see, but somebody in that like 8 to 12 or 13 spot, because Pico will probably be 14 or 15, or maybe he'll jump up and take Pitbull's number 13 spot. But someone in the top 8, top 7 would probably be good for Pico next to really see. And then if you win that, you're looking at a top 5 fight. So this is now, Pico had a lot of hype at 18 years old coming into Bellator, taking, I think he fought, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the chat, I think his first MMA fight was a pro fight. I don't know if he did any amateur. If he did, it was very brief. And, so he came in, looked decent in his early days and then got smoked a few times by, better competition, vets and things like that. It feels like he has an opportunity to put it all behind him. His skills look good. He's now 29 and he's now a top 15 UFC fighter. Who would you like to see him up next?
Well, my thing is, I don't think that he should be 2 fights away from a top 5 or a contender. I think they need to go with the Sugar Sean, Patty the Batty type of thing. Get him 7, 8, 9 wins, and then put him up there. Because the last thing you want to do with a kid that just found his confidence and just found his flow in the UFC is go put him in there with another guy that's just going to flatline him.
Yeah,
then you're going to kill all the confidence that he just built here in Miami tonight. So. I don't think he should jump I think he should get maybe Patricio's ranking, but I don't think we should just be like, all right, give him a top 10 and then give him a top 5, because I think, that echelon of fighter is truly trouble. Like, here you go. Cub Swanson, they're showing him on TV right now. Maybe if Nate Landwehr beats Cub Swanson, beautiful shot there. If Nate Landwehr beats Cub Swanson, maybe give him Nate Landwehr, right? He doesn't have to exclusively fight people that are ranked higher than him. If he's 13, he can fight an unranked guy and still be all right. And that's all that is going to do, is help him build, some sort of a highlight reel. When they show him in the pre-fight stuff, now I know they don't have access to Bellator's
database of videos and stuff.
But interesting enough, Viacom is CBS.
Yeah.
And CBS is Paramount, so they should be able to make something work. But that's a small thing to ask for. But I think that Pico they should pace him. They shouldn't just throw him up there. And we're talking about maybe number 13, but I'm going to switch directions with you a little bit, because a guy named Matus Gamrot called out Diego Lopez. Said, "I hear you're trying to come up to 155. So if we clear the space even by one guy." Now 2 guys, Cub Swanson's moving out. I know he's not ranked, but you're getting 2 guys out of the division. Pico might move up even a little bit further into the rankings.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I agree with the, take your time with him, but he is almost 30, right? That's one thing. The other thing is that, once you crack into that top 15, there's only so many acceptable times that you can, like, if he's number 13, you could do one fight with like a Nate Landwehr, right? Somebody that's unranked, or maybe like, would be if the rankings went up to 20, for example, they would be in the top 20. But, once that's out of the way, then you kind of have to start looking forward instead of back.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets kind of like murderer's row. Let's jump in here real quick. We got some people in the chat. We got Johnny, Joey, Rogers Arbitrary.
What's up, boys?
And Luciano coming through with the $5 tip. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
He says, "Hey guys, you're a Brazilian fan here. Thanks for the coverage. You guys are the real deal. Go Prohaska. Let's go for that." Thank you so much. I'm glad you're watching from Brazil. We always like to drop in the chat too, if you're willing to, obviously, where you're watching from. We always like to know where everybody is. We're in Houston, Texas. We're from Georgia originally. Savannah, we grew up there. We've been in H-Town, almost a decade, Nick? It's coming up. It's hard to believe, actually.
Coming up on a decade. And yeah, we got a wide group of fans from all over the place, supporters. We appreciate everywhere. And we hear a lot of good things about Brazil. We hang out with a lot of Brazilians and train with them and stuff. So you guys are the best.
We gotta go back there, or we got to go to there maybe in a past life. We got to go to Brazil at some point for some content. Let's see here. Johnny says he can get into the top 5 next year. Yeah, that kind of goes along the lines of what Nick was saying.
I wouldn't jump him into the top rankings yet. I would ease him in. Like, Patricio Pitbull, great fighter in Bellator, but he's not an elite UFC fighter. And if you start to throw, like, look what they did with Lerone Murphy. He even looked good in that fight until he just got, he got figured out.
He got clipped by a veteran.
But he was figured out. It wasn't a lucky shot by all.
No.
By all from Lerone Murphy. Lerone definitely was just waiting for the right moment and then took the opportunity when it was there on a gung-ho new guy.
Yeah.
So, I like Pico. I think he's marketable. I think he can absolutely sell tickets and be a star. But if you send him back out there and he gets beat again, remember, he's been knocked out several times, more than most people who are just starting their UFC career.
Yeah.
So you can't really afford to go play with the murderer's row that is the top 10 at 145. Like people always say, 145, 155, and 170. Those are the deepest divisions, and it's been true for a long time.
For sure.
Speaking of featherweights, we got Nate Landwehr making the walk right now. Guys, we will make sure we're all synced up on the timing, but just so you know, Nate Landwehr's music just hit the speakers, and he is officially about to run into the cut men and then say his last goodbyes to his corner before he steps into the octagon. So real quick, just jumping into a few. Joey, what's up, guys? What's up, Joey? It's good to have you in the chat tonight.
Yo. Pico's boxing is super nice to watch. Yes, it was. And that's kind of along the lines of what we're saying too. I'd love to see if he can keep that same crispness and land those big shots against the top guys. Let's see. Pico's got good boxing and amazing wrestling. Yes, he does. And that's a really good combination. He just needs to clean it up. He's almost 30 now. So it's, his run, he kind of needs, I don't want to say perfect because there's no perfect fighter, but he needs to really, really, really at all costs not lose from here on out. Right. If he's going to make a real serious run. Rogers Arbitrary says Pico versus Yair Rodriguez or Arnold Allen next. And see, that's kind of getting into the murderer's row. That's if you're a fan of Pico, I don't like those fights. I think that's a little bit too much too soon. Yeah. Again, we're dealing with a guy who is probably feeling really good for the first time sitting back in the locker room in his UFC career, right? He's not he didn't have much to really celebrate. Sure he got knocked out. He didn't have anything to celebrate. So there hasn't really been any great moments for him. So I would go easy because I do think he's marketable. I think he's a great fighter, and just let him get a little bit more comfortable. We don't need to see him like Jim Miller where there's 17 hours of cage time or whatever it is, some crazy number. But I think it was really good that went all 3 rounds. He got to experience 15 minutes in front of a truly sold out crowd. Or is it sold out? I mean, I saw some pictures and some video clips. It didn't look full, but then again, in Vegas before, we've been to fights in Vegas where for whatever reason, I mean, we show up before the first prelim, right? But that's right. Not everybody does that. And Miami's kind of a party town. So late night crowd. Yeah, they things don't even get started in Miami till after midnight. So maybe we can just chalk this up to, the Miami crowd's going to roll in late, kind of like the Vegas crowd does. Johnny, by the way, says he's watching from the Big Apple. I love that. New York City. So concrete jungle, wet dream tomato. I'll tell you, when was that? 7 or 8 years ago we were there. It was around Christmas time, and it was beautiful. I loved it, but it was just too damn cold for me. I'm more of a warm weather cat. I can't deal. I don't know how you guys deal with that snow in the wintertime. I went up there one time. I was visiting a friend, and I was not equipped for the New York winter. And all I had was what we would consider winter clothes in the South. And then it started snowing and raining at the same time. And my clothes just got soaked. So I wound up getting a pretty awesome jacket on a really good discount. And I know the exact one you're talking about. That's a sharp jacket. Before you guys call me bougie or fancy schmancy, it was a Burberry jacket, which is overpriced, and all those brands are way too overpriced. But there was a 50% off on this particular jacket. And then 5 minutes before I looked at it, a girl came up to me and goes, whatever you purchase, with whatever discount it has, here's an extra $75 off. And I was like, all right. So I'm talking about a $500 jacket that just went down to $250, and now we'll take another $75 off it. Seems like a good deal to me. I've got it still to this day. So what you're telling me is you actually just paid what the price should have been before all the ridiculous markups. Exactly. So Luciano says he's originally from Brazil, but now living in Marietta, Georgia for 12 years. Let's go. We know Marietta really well. We used to play hockey up there. We're from Savannah. That's where we grew up. So about 4 hours south. But I used to go to the MIC every day, the Marietta Ice Center. Yes. If you ever know anything about hockey, maybe just some figure skating, if that's what you're into.
Marietta Ice Center. I used to play a lot of hockey up there.
That's right. I was thinking the cooler in Alpharetta.
That one too.
I couldn't remember the one in Marietta. Good call there.
But
and yeah, Johnny, New York gets real cold.
I think there was a Moe's Nose Burritos right by there. So and then my friend lived by the Marietta Ice Center, so I would be able to kind of go from the house to Moe's to the hockey rink and then back over to Moe's, get another burrito.
Shout out Atlanta. Good times. And we had some good times in Atlanta.
There's a spot in Atlanta.
I'm going to put a poll in the chat real quick. You just talk away
go ahead.
To see who everybody thinks is going to win this fight.
There's a spot in Atlanta that we love. It's called Cafe Intermezzo. I think they have one in the airport and then like one standalone. That's a good spot. I like that place. They got great appetizers, desserts, all that stuff. But we're not here to talk about food reviews. We got Cub Swanson getting his name announced for the very last time in the UFC. 42 years young. Guys, what do y'all feel about Cub Swanson having his swan song, his last fight? I think they're doing him justice, letting him be on the main card. He's got his whole family there. They're showing him right now. It feels like it's a great moment for Cub Swanson, but I do still like Nate Landwehr in this because Nate is just dog tough. And anytime we hear his hair could use some work, but anytime I hear somebody talking about how they're already focused on the next chapter of their life, I get concerned. And I know Cub is one of the most athletic, talented guys as far as the technical side of MMA goes. But when somebody has 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it's always scary. And I hope the best for him here, but I do have some concerns.
If you want to lock in with us, guys, we are at 4 minutes and 44 seconds of round number 1. 15 seconds of guys feeling each other out. Cubs switched stances a couple of times.
And I just bit my tongue like crazy.
This was one of those ones, Nick, that we picked opposite on.
Yeah.
We didn't do that much throughout the main card predictions as I can recall. But I feel like Nate Landwehr, he's fun, right? He's a lot of fun to watch, but he does stand kind of right in front of you. Not a whole lot of head movement. And if you believe what John Jones and Brendan Schaub and TJ Dillashaw and a lot of these guys say, Cub Swanson is like the most skilled guy in the world in the gym.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he never became champ. He never could put it together enough to do a run to a title and get the belt. But people say that Cub Swanson, and we know guys like that, right? How many guys that you can think of without naming names have just absolutely murdered people in the gym, and then they get in the cage for whatever reason and can't put it together. Now, I'm not saying that's Cub by any stretch, but he put it together, just never became a champion. But people say that his skill and his MMA knowledge and IQ is off the charts. That's why I think that's going to be enough to beat a Nate Landwehr.
Yeah, and part of me feels like it's, the bright lights aren't what bother Cub Swanson. I think the fact that he's always trying to entertain the crowd is part of the issue, right? He's one of those guys that doesn't ever want to have a boring fight. And to his credit, he really never has. But, he's throwing some bombs.
He's throwing some heat. He wants to finish in his final fight.
Absolutely tatted up.
Just over 3 minutes left in the first round. Cub Swanson squarely in control of this, throwing some big shots, walking in with his hands down. Good feinting.
And if you need to know where he's from, just read his chest. He's as SoCal as it gets.
He is. He absolutely beautiful shot selection there.
And here's the thing, too, about when you have a performance like this. So far, he's pitching a shutout against Nate. But if he wins this fight without getting touched and basically gets a flawless victory, he's going to get that itch, and he's going to be right back in there going, you know what? Maybe one more before I call it an official career. And that always worries me. If he goes and has an absolute dog fight, he's like, okay, I got what I needed. I don't need any more of that. But if he goes out there and he finishes Nate, which it looks like he very well could early in this fight, I bet you he gets that itch and we see him again.
Yeah, the biggest thing with that is, though, don't push your luck.
That's right.
He's 42. I think he's got three or four kids. Great family. His kids are like at that fun age, young, enjoying life, doing kids sports. And, he's got his gym. He's got there's a lot that Cub Swanson can do to stay relevant in the MMA world. Heck, he could even be on the commentary desk or do his own podcast very easily. A lot of the guys are doing that now. And, I think people would tune in for it, anything he does. So I think, it's tempting when you look at now. Nate Landwehr could come back here and knock Swanson's block off, and then for sure that would be the icing on the cake. But one of those things when you tell the UFC, hey, this is my retirement fight, they put their video editors on finding all the best moments of you. He's going to get a nice B-roll loop playing while he gets to talk to Joe Rogan in the octagon. They don't tend to take kindly to you saying, hey, you know what, JK, I'm coming back. Okay, you want to come back? Well, we gave you Nate Landwehr. How does,
Aaron
Yair Rodriguez sound now?
Yeah.
So that is the kind of double-edged sword.
Well, and he's on schedule.
Nice knockdown for Cub Swanson.
He dropped him.
Oh, Herb Dean stops the fight. Wow. I thought that was an early stoppage, but I think it was good because Nate did look like he tried to.
Yeah, it looks like he's wrestling with Herb Dean.
Let's get the camera back on Nate, but it did show.
Oh, Donald Trump is actually right next to his kids and everything, so that's got to be a pretty cool moment.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
I went with the Nate Landwehr pick on call.
Did you really? Absolutely beautiful finish by Cub Swanson. Chris is getting all of his picks wrong tonight. You should have listened to Big Bro, not
Middle, bro. Not me.
Let's see here. Let's jump into the chat real quick. Johnny said, I used to work on the Empire State Building on the 86th floor outside. Damn, that's brave. So
cleaning windows?
What did you do, Johnny? Is that like the observation deck where people can go out there and take pictures and stuff? Yeah, so Cub is wasting no time getting those gloves in the octagon. My guess is the family's on their way.
Juan Archuleta picking him up. Juan's a friend.
Juan's a good dude. Not many people know Juan, but he's a really, really good fighter and really good person.
Yeah, former champion over in Bellator, and then had a stint over in Ryzen. Great guy. Truly one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Just as kind as can be.
Roger says, I'd love to see Cub make his comeback with Karate Combat once he gets his 6-month post-retirement itch. Yeah, something like, if he wants to do some jiu-jitsu or some Karate Combat, I wouldn't say bare knuckle, maybe dirty boxing. They wear the puffy gloves. Like, he can have some fun. But, the reality is, too, he seems really dead set on this bloodline. And, when you look at, like, a John Wood, a Eric Nixick, a Tim Welch, Bob Perez, Mike Brown, these guys are not at all competing. It takes a lot to run a successful camp.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do it if you yourself are still competing. And so it seems like Bloodline is where his heart is right now. And if he wants to make that a future AKA or Jackson Wink or Extreme Couture, he probably should focus squarely on that, right? Wouldn't you say, Nick?
Yeah, and I think the Bloodline gym looks awesome. It's in like an Olympic swimming pool. And instead of filling the swimming pool with concrete and then putting the mats down, they just put the mats down into the drained pool, which I think looks pretty cool because it gives you like this viewing spectacle from above the mats. And I've always said, if you can look down at a fight, you can see it from a completely different angle and you can understand angles in fighting so much better. So I think that's actually going to be really beneficial to the coaches, the other fighters, and everybody that's over there watching and picking the brains and dissecting fighters, getting ready for big fights. I think it'll be pretty cool. I'm interested to see the stable of fighters that Cub can make out of there.
Yeah, SoCal's got a lot of good talent. And, he's got Sam Calvita right around the corner.
Well, this was the last fight. This was the first fight in many that he didn't use with Sam.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. He didn't use Sam on this one. And I no bad blood or anything like that. It's just it was a difference in opinion. I think he said he felt overworked in some of those training camps.
Boy, that guy's got some strong genetics, I'll tell you. They no mistake in those kids. They all look just like him with the glasses and everything.
They do. If he had a little comb over, he would look identical to his sons.
So Johnny says he was an observatory deck security guard. That's super cool.
Ever have to throw anybody over?
Joey, LOL. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll tell you a little story. I was in Chicago playing a hockey tournament with one of my teams. I was about 16 or 15, which I'm too old for this, but I do not like heights. And everybody was going up to the top of the Sears Tower, and I said, you guys can have all of that. I'm going to stay right here on the ground. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to look up the Sears Tower. For some reason, when I'm standing there, next to skyscrapers, I can't look up them without getting this horrible feeling that I'm going to fall off them, and I'm planted firmly on the ground. So props to you for not being scared to work up there.
So they're keying up the send off video for Cub. Joe asking him to take a look at the screen here.
16 wins in the featherweight division. That's pretty solid. Only behind Darren Elkins and Max Holloway.
Okay, so B-roll here of Cub's career.
Yeah,
showing some highlights of him in the gym. Throwback to the WEC days. Look at the tap out.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy how many companies have come and gone, right? Like
Dethrone just shut down their operation, which is crazy.
Yeah,
I saw that on Instagram this week.
They reached the crowning moment with Conor McGregor being a signee to them, and they kind of ran the most they could out of that opportunity, and it makes sense, you know. What are you going to do? Keep making shirts for people or move on to the next chapter of life, similar to Cub Swanson?
Look at all the submissions from bottom position for Cub.
Shows you how much
guillotines. The game has changed so much,
correct.
Right?
Yeah, the game has changed. We don't see nearly as many submissions from the bottom as we used to.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is that Cub Swanson, 15 years in the UFC, and they haven't even gotten to his UFC highlights yet. They're still in the WEC days.
Yeah, and then all the ones where the NASCAR pants, as a lot of people called them, but the advertised sponsorship pants.
Yeah,
he's still got a plethora of highlights from that era.
Jeremy Stevens, Doohoo Choi. God, that was a good fight. Do you remember that? That was one of the best fights ever. I forgot about how good that fight was.
Yeah. There's some tough Koreans in the UFC.
Yeah, and Doohoo was, I mean, dude, that guy should have been out way earlier than he was. So they showed the NASCAR pants, the Reebok days, now the Venom days.
I'll tell you that new pair of Venom gloves.
Daniel Pineda.
Oh yeah,
and I can tell you how tough that guy is. I've sparred rounds with him, and they ain't no fun.
They're brutal. Yeah, that was a fun fight too.
Yeah,
that was probably
Dennis Seaver.
Yeah.
Killer Cub Swanson, man. What a legend. What a legendary career.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, nobody can be like Khabib where you finish out on top and you're truly on top, as in nobody ever beat you. But it's not going to get better than this, right? If you get this moment and then you get the itch to come back, they're not going to give you this again. No. You're going to be on a prelim of a fight night and they're going to give you some monster, and then you're going to leave face down and embarrassed. So take this, move on, and figure out what's next. Go be a coach.
Go be look at that family. Like
look at his sons holding each other.
That's so cute. Are they twins? That's so cute. They're dressed the same.
And Juan Archuleta is equally as happy as Cub Swanson right now. That guy is such a good dude.
That's awesome, man. Boy, every single one of those kids look just like. Well, in fairness, they look like their mom too. But
they do. But I wonder if they all have a vision problem, or if the glasses are just.
No, I think Cubs got really bad vision, and Chito Vera, Henry Cejudo,
a guy from a guy familiar with retiring and coming back. Oh, Joanna Champion,
Joanna and Jacek. All the stars come out for Miami. So, yeah, who's up next? Let's see here.
Walker Reyes. Let me see. And y'all pick separately on this one. So my bet for that one is it doesn't go to the decision.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Oh, did we say decision? Both of us?
No. Some y'all said both knockout, but two different fighters. So
okay.
It goes to knockout.
So the chat was pretty solid on the predictions there. 71% took Cub Swanson, 29 Nate the Train. Johnny says technically Khabib lost to Tebow. Yeah, I mean, there's I watched that fight for the first time in many, many years a couple of months ago. There's a case for it.
You know what I'll say? Because we have to start to remember, everybody in the comments is always saying, you guys are crazy. Conor McGregor's never coming back. I watched the Conor versus Khabib fight the other day, and obviously I'm not here to say Conor won that fight. He got finished. But his takedown defense was ahead of its time, and he wasn't even training properly for that fight. I think that Conor McGregor's takedown defense back then, I know he didn't have that much success, but some of the early transitions were actually kind of impressive. And we've got all sorts of confirmation that he's coming back. So I'd love to know, don't put it in the chat, but I'll just ask the chat. If you guys want to give your 2 cents, Who is Conor McGregor coming back to fight?
Yeah, drop it in the chat. Let's make a poll of it.
I'm leaning towards when Dana White said the Conor Gary fight is not happening in Ireland. I'm leaning towards that being a misspeaking moment for Dana White, but at the same time, it's enough for us to hold on to. And I believe Max Holloway is probably the right guy, but at the same time, Conor's not coming back to 55, and Max has never fought at 70. So I'm also thinking about 170. Kamaru Usman is another one that I think could potentially be in the running.
All right, so I'm gonna run this poll here in a second. Who is Conor McGregor coming back to fight? I got Max, I got Patty, I got Ian Gary.
Yeah,
give me one more.
Usman.
You think Usman? But you think these are the top 4?
Or I mean, who else could it be?
The protest was officially known.
Protest
has got a match now.
Jack Della Maddalena, which is a great fight.
All right, I'm going Usman.
I guess we can go Usman, yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's see what everybody thinks.
Bring back Tony Ferg.
We'll run this real quick, and then we'll put a poll up for the next fight.
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I'm gonna go with Ian Gary.
You're skewing the numbers here, bro.
Yeah, but I'm a viewer.
No, straight out of the gate, Max Holloway taking the most here.
Yeah, Wonder Boy's another option, but again, we need that Conor McGregor that's going to trash talk, that's going to come after the guy. And while I love Wonder Boy, and I'd love to see him get the biggest fight in the game because Wonder Boy is the NMF, it's just, for me, I feel like we need somebody that's going to clash with Conor. And Nate would have been on this list, but he's got Mike Perry. And I feel like Conor's return is going to be within 2 or 3 months of Mike Perry and Nate Diaz's fight. So, by the way, that card is not selling either. The MVP card.
Yeah. I can't imagine that it's selling out. I mean, listen, if they would have gotten somebody, else on the co-main event against Francis that wasn't a semi-retired light heavyweight, little White House promotion here. Let's see what this is.
Oh, they got Freebird as the song. Yet the Spaniard's going to come in.
Yeah, Freebird is playing with B-roll of Ilya just smoking people. It's like, here's a foreshadowing of what's to come.
A bunch of Americans and everybody else.
So let's see here.
Justin Gaethje getting off the chopper. Now, I love Justin, but
Rogers says Michael Morales. Good Lord, would that be bad for Conor?
Yeah.
That is a stylistic nightmare for him. Johnny says Cole. Okay, so I wish I would have held off on the poll for a second because Colby versus Conor, that's a good one.
But stylistically, Colby is going to hold him down. And Colby,
he also said Wonder Boy versus Conor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wonder Boy is too nice. We need somebody that especially with Paramount being this entertainment era thing where they're all about the clicks and the views and the engagement. I just feel like they want Conor McGregor to go out there and spit fire.
Yeah,
because they only got 1 or 2 Conor McGregor fights left ever.
Well, they got to announce it soon. That PSN guy 99. Yo, what's up, man? Welcome to the chat. Thank you for joining us. There's Gaethje. There is Tupuria in the building. It does not appear to be so.
Nah, he's not coming all the way from Spain.
Let's see here.
He doesn't care for the Miami scene anymore.
Yeah. He was burned by a Miami.
He doesn't go with I think she's back here too, by the way. I wonder if she'll be at the event tonight.
Yeah, she's probably hanging out with the boys.
Not a chance that she would show up at an event like that.
No, she would get booed so hard.
worse than Trump got tonight. Johnny says, in this economy, people are saving more money. Yeah, isn't that the truth, man? Everything is so expensive these days, it seems. And back in the day, Nick, when was the last time I went to a UFC event? I think it was Oliveira versus Chandler for the vacant 155 belt. So whenever that was a few years ago. It's been a while since I've been to a live event. And, my wife and I went. We had good seats, really good seats, parking, everything. I think we got out of there all in for like less than $250. Wow. And now you can't. And I'm talking like we weren't on the floor, but we were pretty damn close to the floor. And it just now you can't even get nosebleed sections for like 300 plus per ticket.
No, I went to the guy walking out here next, but with Johnny Walker's Dominic Reyes. I went to John Jones versus Dominic Reyes, and I was in the nosebleeds, and luckily my nose didn't bleed, but it was like $250 a ticket, and it was not as fun as watching it on the couch from the comfort of your home and hearing the crowd, or not the crowd, the commentary. I think JD was next to me, and he had a beer spilled down his back, and the guy that did it left because he was so drunk before the prelims even ended. And I'm like, what did you pay for?
What is this? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and to be honest with Paramount
foreshadowing.
Plus, I mean, we kind of do things a little bit differently because we're trying to make a, sort of a business and career out of this. So it's like we prioritize fight nights as like we're going to sit here and stream and sit tomorrow and recap. And so if I went to an event and partied and got hammered, I wouldn't be able to get one, I wouldn't be able to stream it, and then two, I wouldn't be able to get up the next day and cut a video recapping it. So it's like I kind of look at it a little bit differently. Let's see here. Roger says probably the winner of Roofy versus Chandler versus Conor. Okay, so yeah, unless they're trying to bring Conor back sooner than that. But if Roofy gets a quick knockout, I could see them turning him around fast because he'll be kind of on a hot streak, fast track at that point.
But if they already said no to Chandler. So the UFC, one thing they don't do is go back on their word. If they have something and then they say no to it, they usually don't go back to that well. They tell you we're going a different direction, and they truly do go a different direction. Although my opinion is Michael Chandler should be getting the Conor McGregor fight.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, he deserves it. I mean, the guy sat out for 2 years for it and did nothing wrong, but and they reward him with Mauricio Roofy. So that's kind of a bummer. So question for you, Nick. That PSN guy says, "What's up, Nick?
Yo.
Didn't you used to say 3 yos at the beginning of every episode? Now you only do 2 yos, right? Any reason behind that? Did you used to say 3?
No, it's always been 2, man. But maybe there's a little echo in your headphones or on your speaker. Yo, that's the one. And
even way back in the beginning. I mean, I'm trying to think of years past. You know, did you ever do 3 in the beginning? Or
no? Remember, it came from Mark, our old friend from Savannah. Mark, he used to always say yo, and so that just sort of became the thing that everybody said anytime we walked into a room. And
he was this old cat from Philly. He would yo.
So
they kind of stuck with us.
But yo. I mean, I guess it could work. Maybe I'll surprise you in the next clip. And
PSN guy, we'll throw one of those in there for you.
Absolutely.
We were toying around with the idea of doing some merch here when we hit 20,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Let us know if y'all would be interested in that at all, and what type of merch you even think would be cool to create. But doing like some Barnhill Brothers hats with like yo-yo on the side and maybe the main logo, or even like a hoodie with like yo-yo inside of the hoodie part, something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of
I've been on
not creative with that stuff as some of you are, I'm sure.
But guys, I've been thinking a lot about it. I've been on the AIs doing some image generators to try to see what would look cool and what would not. I throw some ideas up there. I'm not an artist, a visual artist that much, but I definitely think there's some cool things that we can make. There's some cool jackets that would come out potentially in the wintertime. But you guys help us get to 20K subscribers here on YouTube, and we will definitely be dropping some merchandise. I think coffee mugs would look good. We film most of the time in the morning, so we still need our second or third or fourth cup of coffee. So maybe some Barnhill Brothers coffee mugs as well. And then at the bottom of it, once you finish your cup, you can read yo. Think about that.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. All right. So what do you guys think of Delgado versus Pico? That'd be a good fight. I think, slow rolling him a little bit. Nick's kind of winning me over with that thought process. That would kind of, it's a tough fight, but it would be, not jumping him up to the absolute.
What about your friend?
Yadier Del Valle. Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
Now Yadi could be actually a top contender for that because, they're going to want, unfortunately, they're going to want Pico to win, right? And I don't think that Yadi's an easy fight by any stretch. Jordan Levitt is a very strong guy, actually came from lightweight down, and he got the better of Yachty. But the Cuban problem is still very much a problem for a lot of people at 45. And I'd love to see the fight. I understand that the Golden Gloves boxing background that Pico has and the wrestling pedigree that he has is high level, but he transitioned all that and got out of it and went straight into MMA. Yachty, he grew up in Cuba, very difficult life down there, but he fought, got himself out the mud, got to America. He's here in Houston with us, training every day. He's a beast. Only one loss as a pro, and that was his last fight. So I'd love to see it because it'd be a high-profile fight. Potentially would put him on a numbered event or something important. And I'd love to see Yadier Del Valle and Aaron Pico. But after he won that fight, it feels to me like they might want to give him somebody with a little bit more name recognition, a little bit more experience in the UFC, just so people kind of know who he's fighting and tune in for the Pico show, because Pico, of course, is an undeniable character now.
Yeah, Rogers, thank you. That's a great suggestion. He said, I'd love to see you guys link up with the artist who designs the concept art for Full Violence and design anime or animated T-shirts with all three of you. I assume that's Chris included. Yeah, we can't leave Chris out. That's a good call there.
That's right. The wizard. We'll have him dressed up like a wizard with a wizard hat.
I love Full Violence. I'm a fan of what they do. I saw they were in the Embeddeds. They had a pop-up. Those guys are doing their thing. I have tried to reach out to them. I don't know if any of you guys know them or, follow them or they follow you back. I followed all three of the guys on Instagram, and I followed their main page and then their Full Violence gang page. I've sent them a couple of DMs and, it's been crickets. So I would love to get in touch with them.
Yeah. And not to cut you off, but guys, I was actually helping a friend cut some weight last night. He fights tomorrow on the Fury card. And, one of the guys who was over there helping us cut some weight was the owner of a brand called Hardstyle, and they're a fight company. Kevin Holland, they make merch for Kevin Holland. They just did a shirt release, a limited edition shirt release with Kevin. So you've probably seen some of that on the Embedded. You might have seen some of their clothing on some of the UFC fighters. But he was there, and he actually lives right down the road from us. So he loves the channels, familiar with the videos we make and everything. And we were actually brainstorming a little bit in the sauna last night about what we could do potentially. And, of course, he was decked out in his own gear, as you would be if you owned an apparel company. The quality was all there. Let us know what you guys think about the clothing style. I know today in this world, everybody's wearing like the loose shirt. It's got like baggy arms. And I guess – I'm 32, so I don't know if that's in style, and maybe these tight sleeves are completely out of style by now. I think it looks better to show some muscles. A suit or a shirt isn't what makes the man look good, but I think the body under it is usually what makes the man look good. But if you guys are into that style, we can potentially make something like that happen. Let us know. There's potentially somebody we could be working with, maybe Full Violence, maybe Hardstyle. We'll just keep throwing some signs out there. And as long as you guys show us that y'all want to get some merchandise with the Barnhill Brothers logo and some cool, like inside stuff, inside jokes and inside little things, yo-yo and whatnot, we will definitely bring that to y'all. We just want to make sure that that's something you guys want.
Yeah, people really appreciate like kind of the inside baseball stuff, like stuff that we say that, somebody who's been watching for a while would pick up on. Let's see here real quick before we get Bruce's announcement finalized. Does anyone besides Zhang beat Tatiana at strawweight? She looked pretty damn good tonight, to be honest with you. Lupi did all right in the first round, and then Tatiana did her thing. I don't know. Offhand, no. I think Zhang may be the only one at 15 that beats her, but I do think Zhang would beat her again. Joey says, I wish Du Ho Choi would stay active. Came back, looked great, but hasn't fought in over a year. Yeah, it would be nice because he was this young prospect at one point in time, but then we had a long period of inactivity. I don't offhand know how old he is now, but he's got to be getting older. I wouldn't say he's
somebody's kid is wilding out.
Dude, pop your son's shirt back on.
He's got a UFC belt, no shirt on.
Let's see here. In Bredimov say, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the chat tonight. Since Dana confirmed UFC Serbia, I think Medic versus Leon is the main event. Yeah, that's a dude. That Medic guy is incredible. I'm a big fan of his. I think that's a tough fight for Leon. And Rakic has confirmed he's a heavyweight now, so maybe Derek Lewis. Derek is a good fight. That's a tough welcome to heavyweight. Yeah. You know, we know Derek. He trains here with us in Houston. You know, not the most technical guy in the world, but damn, does that guy connect. When he connects, it's lights out.
He's the knockout king for a reason. And I don't have any answers for you right this moment, but come back maybe in the next live stream. I'll talk to Derek. I'll talk to Coach Bob and see if there's any sort of legs to Rakic or what direction they want to go. Something tells me that if Hokic wins tonight, he's going to call for somebody like Derek.
Like a Derek, yeah.
Well, yeah. I know he called out Waldo Cortez in one of his last fights, but
honestly, with his cringy crap that he does, like Derek is really good with his words, and he's way underrated with how quick he is. I would love to see Derek kind of combat him because Curtis is not the guy for it. Yeah, I mean, Curtis may beat his ass, but he's not going to go tit for tat at the press conference. You know,
no. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Did we lock in with the time here, Chris?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
It's like 12 seconds behind on the live or on what YouTube.
Okay. I guess my YouTube is just frozen here. There we go.
Yeah. Or maybe give Rakic like Walter Walker. See if he can catch him in a heel hook.
Yeah.
Now Rakic was finished by Paulo Costa's opponent.
Yes.
He's moving up to heavyweight.
He's moving up. Rakic. Yeah, I think Rakic is having a durability issue at 205 because he's a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing him at heavyweight.
Yeah. Johnny Walker doing a lot of distance management to start the first round. We're 2 minutes in, and Reyes looks composed for the most part. They're just kicking at each other's legs right now, trying to get a feel for each other. But it feels like both of them are loading up their power punches, and will likely start to chunk some heavy leather here pretty soon. Let us know who you guys got in this fight.
So 233, not a whole lot's gone on. A lot of bouncing around from Walker, very much like his normal self. Reyes, real calculated, just kind of stay in southpaw stance.
Oh, man. Okay, so Rogers, let me tell you this. I'll talk to Derek. I mean, I see him at the gym all the time. Ali Sadiq. You must know the Houston scene. Ali is also here in Houston. And fun fact, my friend Todd Manuel, he's a professional boxer. He's a little bit older. He's about 37, 38 these days, but he still competes. He actually just won a regional title in the boxing game, especially he's unk status like me. So Ali Sadiq comes to my gym as well every morning. Well, not every morning, but a few days a week. He's there. I don't run into him because he's there at like 5:30 in the morning, but he's a G. He's always training boxing. He's always in shape. And I think that would be a lot of fun, actually, to get him and Derek on a pod because I
don't know who this guy is. Who is he?
Oh, man, he's one of the biggest comedians in the world.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is he a local guy?
Yeah, he comes to Main Street like 3 days a week.
Really?
Yeah, no, of course. Kidding. But like I said, he comes at 5:30 in the morning. So if we have a lot of people that come to Main Street that you guys might not know, there's a guy named Curtis, but he goes by 50 Cent, and it's kind of cool to run into 50 at Main Street. He loves to hit the speed bag, and he's actually pretty good, and he's big.
Yeah,
50 Cent is not a small guy.
So, I remember the In the Club video back in the day. That was the #1 song for damn near a year, and he's been jacked since those days.
Yeah, I've never seen him doing upside down crunches, but he definitely does work out hard when he's at Main Street. And yeah,
I know I'll work out hard when that song comes on. I wonder if he listens to his own music when he works out.
No, he was not listening to any of his hits or G Unit whenever I've seen him up there. But yeah, guys, Main Street's a cool gym. We have all sorts of people from all walks of life, and you just would never expect it. But it's one of those places where it kind of feels like you can just escape and nobody's going to bother you because we've got world champion boxers, the highest level UFC fighters, very famous celebrities, and everybody's just familiar with that style of human coming into our gym. So as long as you're like not one of these young fighters that wants to take pictures with people, you can usually stick around Main Street for a while, and you'll get to rub elbows with them. But we don't really take a whole lot of pictures.
All righty, let's hop into the chat real quick. Every time I hear Serbia, I think of a Serbian film. Yeah, same.
I'm 5'9", 500 pounds. Did I bulk too far, bro? You need to come to Houston, and you can go to that 600-pound doctor.
Yeah, that guy's local, isn't he?
Yeah, he's right down the road from Main Street too. I've never seen him or any of his clients or any of his patients, I should say, come to Main Street. But maybe that'll be on the protocol for next season. If he's like, I need to get you in shape, go to a cardio boxing class.
Rogers, when you say you ran into that guy Ali after a comedy set, was that down here in Houston or was that up where you live? Do you get down to Houston often? All right.
And let me say this real quick before the round starts. Round 2 is about to start, but Ali Sadiq, if you're familiar with him and you like his comedy, go watch his most recent special. The first 20-minute chunk is all about training at Main Street with my friend Todd. Shout out Todd Blazin Manuel. He's a great dude, and Ali Sadiq really shined him up in his most recent comedy special. So yeah, pretty cool. Round 2 is underway, by the way, guys. We're like 20 seconds in, and again, a lot of kicking going on, a lot of range management from both guys. They're kind of both a little gun shy with their hands, but they're chopping the legs when there's nothing up top to score.
Johnny said, would that gym allow Kanye and Bianca inside? To be honest, man, I have no idea.
We allow everybody. We don't really discriminate. Like I said, there's people.
I think it's only if you act like an ass once you get in there that they kick you out, but they do kind of give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, we had some streamers in there the other day. I'm not really familiar with this guy, but Gideon, something like that. He's got a whole bunch of subscribers and followers, and he was in there the other night. They were kind of doing like a sparring content live stream type of deal. I obviously didn't really pay attention to it, but I was watching the CCTV camera footage from the sparring rounds, and if you want to look that up, you can. They were at Main Street throwing some hands, and it was a whole thing. But yeah, we get a lot of people in the content world. There's another guy. He's like he's a comedian. He's like a prankster online, and God, I can't remember his name. It's like oh man, what is his name? It'll come to me, but he's like a Hispanic guy. He's kind of small, and he's not the Papi Chulo guy, but he's like a smaller Hispanic guy, and he does a whole lot of pranks, and he's always up there working his boxing as well.
So back to the fight for a second. Not a whole lot going on here. It's hard to tell who's really winning. Both guys staying kind of at a comfortable outside range. Not a whole lot of significance landed so far. Johnny Walker light, moving around, switching stances, kind of being wild like he always does. Dominic very reserved. I think, there's only so many times you can be brutally knocked out before you start to fight a little gun shy, and I'm wondering if that's kind of where Dominic Reyes is right now.
Yeah, well, he knows one shot from a guy like Johnny Walker, can end the night. And that's before your chin becomes susceptible to knockouts, right? Like Johnny Walker's a big guy in the cage right now. I bet you he's 225. So a one clean shot from a decent striker can put you to sleep. And Dominic Reyes has a suspect chin these days.
Yeah. So it seems like this one is probably going to go the distance if this remains the same. Lots of leg kicks by Walker. 22 of 25 landed. Really high accuracy on the leg kicks.
Yeah. And somebody asked, watch you guys, but I'm not familiar with the martial arts you guys do. So Steven got us all into martial arts. It actually started way back in the day when he was like 7 or 6. He was doing karate. But, of course, then, you get into high school sports and you get into that type of thing. But I was about 19, I think, when you took me to jiu-jitsu for the first time. We started with the jiu-jitsu, and then we got into boxing, and then I ended up going pro in boxing. And but ever since then, ever since like before COVID, it's been all MMA. So never really like stuck with Muay Thai or any one particular art, just kind of MMA.
But when y'all train, right? You're because like to answer your question, I do mostly jujitsu. I don't train as much as Nick does. I'm married. I've got kids, and so it's I need to be better at getting back into the regimen of it. But Nick's there 4 or 5 days a week at least.
Yes.
And you're doing what? Like, I mean, what does your training look like? Mostly striking, first hour, grappling, second hour. Is it all mixed together? How does it run at Main Street these days?
Yeah, so Wednesdays and Fridays are sparring days. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday are drilling days, but we basically start the mornings with we got ground and pound classes, wrestling classes, jiu-jitsu classes, and those kind of just alternate depending on the day of the week. And then every day is pro MMA, where we all go and basically mix the martial arts totally. Like there's rounds on the feet, there's rounds on the ground. There's a lot of striking techniques. Main Street is primarily a striking gym, but we certainly cover the grappling. You can't neglect that if you're an MMA gym. But the fact that we've got multiple world champions in boxing and just the craziest history of high-level boxers there.
Lennox Lewis used to do camps back in the day, didn't he?
Lennox Lewis, Roger Mayweather, Keith Thurman.
Oh, no kidding.
Austin No Doubt Trout's currently still there. He's the pound-for-pound number one
Regis
bare-knuckle
Gray, who fought tonight against the $15 million man, Conor Ben.
Yep, he went up in weight to fight that, and then he retired.
Regis did?
Yeah, I'm going to reach out to Regis. He's a friend, and I was able to, if you haven't seen it, about a year and a half ago or so, I went out to his compound. He's got a beautiful home, and we shot a pod out there. So that was a good time. But yeah, I've had the privilege of sparring many rounds with Regis, getting him ready. He was fighting a guy named Cepeda, who's an unorthodox southpaw, which is similar to me. And they needed some certain looks, and they wanted to kind of, get those looks going. And so, yeah, we became friends that way.
I remember I was at this. Johnny says, I got black belts in gun fu and knife fu. Dude,
there you go.
Those are the best kind of fus to have black belts in, because if you got black belts in those and I run into you on the street, I'm not using any kind of fu. I'm splitting.
I'm doing the running fu.
Yeah, run fu. Yeah, I got a red belt and run fu. Yeah. How far do you guys see Aaron Pico going from Siraj? What's up, Siraj? Welcome back to the live. Thanks for joining us.
Yo.
Skill-wise, I think he can go far. I think Aaron's biggest problem has been his head. I think he gets too overconfident. He rushes in and he makes mistakes that high-level fighters can capitalize on. So I think his trajectory is going to depend on how much of his own worst enemy he continues to be. He looked good tonight. He took his time. He was patient. Patricio's almost 40, so it's a different
40,
level.
They say 40 years
He's
old.
38.
Yeah, I was mixing up with Cub Swanson, 42.
So I think he can go far. I think he needs, another 18 to 24 months, in the top 15, top 10 range. And then you got to go at that point. You got to see, the rubber meets the road.
And not to move off Pico too fast, but I agree with whoever said this fight sucks. It does.
Yeah, that's JL. What's up, Jay? Thanks for joining the live.
Professional fighters.
Imbredimov said Nick is also married. He's married to the game.
Damn
#
right.
They don't know me, son.
That's right. They don't know me, son. That's correct. No, I would love to have a family, and it'll happen one of these days, but I can't put the cart before the horse. So I got to find the right horse, so to speak, before I start piling into the cart. But I do want to have a whole gang of kids and get into that portion of my life in a few years. But for now, married to the game, and I won't divorce her anytime soon.
David Harold, the Garden Warrior. What's up? My stream better. Are you saying like us? Are you streaming yourself? Or I think you mean us. So thank you so much for joining. Joey says, is Yanez too much of a push for Ethan Ewing? No, I don't think so at all. I think that Ewing guy is for real.
I'd love to see that fight.
That's actually a really good piece of matchmaking, Joey. Johnny says this is a sparring masterpiece.
Yeah, barely. This is almost like
Bob would tell us to pick it up if this was sparring.
Yeah, this is almost like reminiscent of what Nate Diaz referred to as touch butt in the park
with Ido Portal. Nice throwback there.
Yeah, he really came and went, huh? He came and went at the same time.
Rogers said, Nick, you're in a band. Any plan on touring? If so, let me know if you tour to Richmond, Virginia.
Let's go.
Dude,
yeah, I'd love to.
You played a lot more live shows back in Georgia than here.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to do some touring. You know, the way the world works these days, and I got to ask you a question. If you're a music fan, anybody that's a music fan, I got to ask you something. But yeah, so the way the world works these days is everything's online. And yeah, I've got a whole bunch of songs I'd love to share with the world. I was just one of those guys. I call myself a dinosaur in music. I took 8 years of drum lessons. I taught myself guitar because it was hard to bring girls over and then showcase how good you are on the drums. It's just too damn loud. So I wanted to learn guitar, show my, dexterity of my fingers and whatnot. But I learned all the instruments. I write songs all the time, even still to this day. But I'm not like Chris, who became proficient in producing music. So the recording aspect is where I really lack right now. And I've got some options as to how I can make my music come to life and be shared across platforms. But the goal is to grow a channel in music, just like we've got the Barnhill Brothers here, and then potentially find select cities and parts of the world or parts of the country that I garner enough attention in and potentially come play some shows. So yeah, though it's weird for me to say this because I'm 32, but like everybody, you sort of feel like you stop aging at like 24, 25. So I've been drumming for 22 years and it feels like saying I've been doing anything besides breathing oxygen for 22 years is weird. But yeah, drumming is actually probably my best forte of all.
Johnny said, "Ladies love beards."
Which ladies are you referring to, sir? No, I'm joking. They do love the beard. They like to run their fingers through it every now and again. But yeah, like you said,
we tried to build this channel to find Nick a wife, and then our fan base ended up being 97% male. But we do love you 3% ladies out there that watch our content.
That's right. Yeah.
Siraj says this is a barn burner compared to Josh Fan versus Royval.
Man,
I don't know about that.
What about Josh Van versus Pantoja?
yeah, this is more like it. And we did absolutely zero talking about that fight while it was happening. We'll try to do better on the next one, guys. We got into the chat, but to be fair,
talking about music was more fun. And by the way, let me say this real quick about the music. Anybody who's a music nerd in there, anybody who's asking about music, I need to hear your thoughts on Angine de Poitrine. I can't believe that I'm bringing this band up on a MMA live stream, but they have taken the world over.
You showed them to me the other day. Those guys are nuts.
Insane. And if you haven't heard them after the live stream, go put on their, it's like QEXK or whatever the channel is, but just type in Angine de Poitrine. I'll write it into the chat.
I was going to say, you want to spell that for those of us that have no idea what you just said?
Poitrine. They are a band that is just blowing up on every form of social media. And I'm a music nerd. Like I love dissecting it. And these guys are certainly not like mainstream music. It's like math rock to the highest level, but it's also like instrumental. Very fun to listen to. Very interesting. It's microtonal music. Most people would have no idea what that is, but it's super fascinating. And just give it a listen, but watch the video. Don't just listen to the music. Watch the video. I promise you will not be disappointed, even though it is very weird. And just let it marinate for a second before you shut it off. So
Inbredimov says, all jokes aside, is there a certain martial art to lean towards if you have a 5'9" stocky build? We're both about 5'9". Nick's a little bit more stocky than I am. I don't know that it necessarily matters your build, man. And I don't know how old you are. I think wrestling is the best base for mixed martial arts, but it's hard to start that, as an adult. What I would say is go to a good jiu-jitsu gym, but not one that is all into sport jujitsu where they're teaching you just a pull guard and, you know, invert and stuff like that. That has its place, but that's, if you really want to learn how to fight, go to a gym that is a grappling heavy gym that focuses on takedowns, how well you can do them, how well you can defend them, and of course the jujitsu technique from there. But I would couple that with like a boxing or like a Muay Thai. I mean, agree, Nick? Is that
my opinion is if you want to learn how to fight and you want to learn what, you know, the best things you can learn, especially if you're an adult already, go to boxing. It's the most fun. And in my opinion, Muay Thai is great. There's so many cool things about Muay Thai. But for me, I just don't enjoy it as much as boxing. But if you want to get your kicks involved with some good boxing, go to Japanese kickboxing. There's really no gyms right now, but Google it, watch it. It's very entertaining, very fun to watch. And the guys are electric with the hands, great kicks. It's not all about like, you know, Muay Thai's like, you know, they're here and they're all in the same cadence. Ooh-wee, kicks to the arm. But it gets a little boring at times. But if you go watch Japanese kickboxing, there's a guy named like Yuki Yoza. Dude is really solid. And the style is just super fun. So I think really good hands and good takedown defense will take you a long way. And then when there's nothing to score up top, you chop the legs with some seriously good kicks as long as your balance isn't compromised. And Japanese kickboxing is actually coming in hot. So
Japanese kickboxing.
Check that out. Yeah.
So his birth certificate says he's 22. So you're a young guy. I mean, if you wanted to learn how to wrestle, I don't think that's a bad move. I mean, it's the thing is you're going to get humbled by 14 and 15-year-old kids, which is kind of a bitch. But if you can get past that, then you know, that's a really good one to learn. And then you learn some submissions, and then you learn some good hands. You know, you'll be in good shape.
And make no mistake about it, wrestling is super fun, especially when you can start chaining things together and you go with somebody else. Find a few good training partners. Wrestling is so much fun, and the scrambles are just so insane. They make your heart feel like they're going to pump out of your chest, but in the best way possible. Great for cardio. Again, it's a little bit hard on the joints and the back and stuff like that, but your body's adaptable. It'll figure it out. I really enjoyed. I didn't wrestle in high school. I wish I did, and but I did pick it up, and I really enjoy wrestling now. But of course, I enjoy takedown defense and letting my hands go above everything.
Yeah, Nick's a striker.
Yeah.
That's kind of your bread and butter.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing too, right? Like everybody has something that they're best at. Some people are really good at submission. Some people are really good at wrestling and staying on top. Some people love kicking. Me, I am all about good footwork and boxing. I feel like when I kick people, if I kick an elbow or if I kick a knee or a kick gets checked, I feel like I get a flat tire. I feel like my legs are my wheels, and if I get a flat tire, then I can't use my footwork, which means I can't get my hands going. So I really like to throw hands, and not to get too into the weeds, but if you can keep really good, solid defense and not just a high guard, like we don't want to be here. We want to be intelligently defending with parries and slips and moving your head, good head movement, and then make people make mistakes, and then you counter with good hands. In my opinion, and that's what works best for me. I really enjoy it. And then of course, when there's nothing, like I said, when there's nothing to score up top, then you chop the legs a little bit when you know you're safe, or you chop the body. I love the push kick too, because it's the one place where you're not really going to run into as many checks or elbows that could potentially, you know, the worst feeling in the world is kicking somebody and then your toes like running into their elbow. So I don't like to feel that very much.
Real quick, Nick, Rogers asked, crazy question. Could he post his 25-year-old son's weird beats on Discord and get your opinion? I'd love to support him, especially as he's trying to grow with this. Yeah, dude, post them up. We'll take a listen to him for sure.
You know, the Discord is one of those places where, of course, guys, we're going to talk about
plug to the Discord. If you're not in the Barnhill Brothers Discord, Chris, is there a link that you can put somewhere in the chat, or how does that work?
Yeah, and of course, guys, we're always talking MMA over in the Discord, but it's a hang, right? So we can talk about anything. And of course, if it's music, you've got my attention. So if you want to drop him in there, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear what he's up to. Anything, whether it's mainstream. I love pop music. I love the Angine de Poitrine. They're the opposite of pop music, but the spectrum's wide. So I love listening to all sorts of new music, finding new music, and I will give you my honest reviews and opinions if that's what you so wish to hear.
So real quick, a couple of things. Siraj says, what do you guys think of Josh Hokett's persona? Do you like it or do you think it's corny? It's a bit corny for me, if I'm being honest, but he's getting people to talk about him. And, you know, in a heavyweight division that's desperate for somebody that can bring any kind of eyeballs, maybe he has a lane there. The thing is, once he loses, everybody's going to get annoyed with the stick. As long as he's still winning, the stick is fine. As soon as he loses, everybody's going to be like, yeah, this guy's corny.
Yeah, but
Right, Miami.
Yeah.
but I'll tell you this: he is a All-American wrestler, D1, and he played football in D1. And there are not many people in the UFC that can say the same, and there's certainly not many people that could have gone and done that. So I think he could be a real problem, especially if he beats Curtis Blades, who I see as truly one of the best heavyweights, even though he's not quite had the luck once he got to the upper echelon of heavyweight. But yeah. And then I saw one just pass by. I don't want to pass it without saying it. Favorite Metallica song. Man, I might sound like a little bit of a casual when I say this, but learning drums, it was so fun to learn some of those songs. And Master of Puppets to me is truly one of the best pieces of metal music, especially because it influenced so many musicians to make great metal music. And I love Master of Puppets. I think it might be one of the first Metallica songs I heard, but you can't really go wrong. It's fun to hate on Lars Ulrich too, because we'll be honest, he's not the best drummer, but he's done a lot of good things in music. So I almost said in fighting. He's not done anything in fighting except for he fought Napster. But yeah, Master of Puppets, I think I still got to keep it up at the top. But give me fuel, give me fire. He looks like he would sing fuel.
Yeah, he looks like he's about to walk out to some Metallica.
Yeah.
Konstantinos, what's up, man? Good to have you back in the live chat. How was UFC London? You went to that, if I remember correctly. Did you have a good time? Let's see. Rogers, Muay Thai is my love. I love Muay Thai too. I'm a big fan.
If you like it, go watch some Japanese kickboxing. I think you'd really like it because it's most similar to Muay Thai, but there is a distinct difference, and I think you'd really enjoy it.
So Johnny said, I'm good at low blows. Yeah, those are the best in a street fight. Low blows are the way to go. So DT, what's up? Thanks for joining the live. Should both of these fighters get cut? That was embarrassing. I don't know about cut, but definitely taken off the main card. That's for damn sure. Who would have thought Walker Reyes went to decision?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that neither one of them hit it. You know, that they're just, when you stay that far out of range, it's hard to knock somebody out.
Mm-hmm.
Luciano, thank you again so much for the $2. Chimaev versus Strickland will be chaos backstage. I don't want to even guess at what the UFC security budget is for that fight.
Hey, did you hear? Speaking of Hamzat and Sean, they will not be according to something I saw online, which you know, take it for what it is, but they will not be even staying in the same hotel because they're worried about those two feuding and their teams feuding. And I certainly get that, but they're also ixnaying totally that like stare down that they've been doing, this Paramount thing where they have to go hang out in that lighted room for like 10 minutes.
Oh, there's no way.
And just look at each other.
You got to AI generate that with those two.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody call ChatGPT and get that.
Man. Yeah. Get Grok ready for that one.
Yeah.
Just send the editor and be like, look, you guys for 10 minutes are gonna keep yourselves under control. I'm not.
There's a 0% chance they're going to do that.
Yeah.
Rogers.
Just film them separately.
Yeah. Piece it together.
Yeah.
My friend hipped me to math rock. Covet is a dope band. I've never heard of them. Do you know who they are?
Covet. No, I know a few solid math rock bands. And obviously it's, like I said, we're in the weeds with the math rock because it's hard. Some people just don't get it. But if you like Covet, if you like math rock, please check out Engine de Poitin. If you haven't already, they've kind of gone insanely viral. In like a month, they've gone to like 10 million views on their live performance. They only have like 8 songs, but trust me, it's solid. Dang, I'd do anything to be that dog.
God.
Mackenzie Dern, Toyo Tires getting licked up by some dog.
That's a weird commercial. Time to cut Reyes and Walker. Let's go for that.
Let's
the
go
tasteful thickness. Thanks for joining the live tonight. And in between now and when this next fight starts, I need to take a bathroom break. So if Chris, okay. If he doesn't take the light out on the way out, everybody say what's up to Chris.
Yeah, yo.
But Yeah, let's see here. Okay, so 3, 2, 1,
You're
back
good.
to the
I moved
action.
it.
Oh, okay.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, here. All right. Let Chris sit down for a second, and then I shall return.
I'm actually.
Yeah, I'll run the 1s and 2s.
I gotta get these media.
I got it, y'all. Y'all let me know what your thoughts are for this Curtis Blades and Hought fight. Hokett's making his walk. I kind of want to hear what he's walking out to. John Anik's talking, so I can't quite make out what song he's coming out to, but I assume it's got some sort of comedic value to it, if you will. Oh, Joe, you like Helmet? Yes, I know Helmet. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Dude, we could actually have a whole entire live stream just about music too. So I don't want to get too in the weeds, but yeah, great band name too, right? Helmet. There's some bands that just nail it with the name, and I think Helmet's pretty cool. All right, so there's Josh Hought is taking off his American headband bandana thing, and getting his last swig of water before he sees the cut man and gets himself locked into the cage. So excited for this one. Let's go. Yeah, man. I think this guy has a gimmick for sure. And some people probably are irritated by it. But at the end of the day, he was getting all sorts of views. And we know now in this Paramount era, everybody's looking for the views and the likes and the impressions and anything to be the squeaky wheel, because we know the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And look, if he can beat Curtis Blades, it's not that much of a shtick anymore. And it's kind of just, all right, we've got a guy that's legit. Again, D1 All-American wrestler, D1 football player. So we're talking about a true athlete here. Not saying Curtis Blades isn't an athlete, because he certainly is. But anytime you see somebody come from a Division I sport like that, a contact sport like football or a combat sport like wrestling, you got to just understand that you're dealing with somebody who can learn on a curve, right? These guys who are just, supreme athletes, they understand how to, it's almost like you can force your body to do things. And you'll see it, like if you're familiar with striking gyms and stuff, like if some wrestlers, if they go to striking, they just never quite put it together. I always say, like, strikers kind of have to have this element of like being cool. It's rhythmic. If you can dance, maybe you can strike. But these high level guys, they can just bridge the gap really well from sports and like athletic fundamentals into fighting. At the end of the day, there's a ton of technique, and experience is a big part of fighting. And you have to understand like durability, grit, toughness. But if you came from wrestling, you know all that stuff. So, I'm really excited for this fight. I hope it doesn't lay an egg like the last one, but something tells me it won't. I'm going to keep reading these chats, guys. Randy Savage. Dude, Macho Man. Yeah, he does kind of look like Macho Man. And he's on the microphone. So I would predict if TKO is looking for anybody else to join the WWE after a UFC career, it would be Josh Hought. I feel like he was actually born for the WWE, but making a little pit stop over in the UFC. On to the next. Does Josh Hought? Oh man, yeah. So hair transplants in the UFC. Hought looks like he's got one. Piper's got one. My friend Rafael Alves, he's no longer in the UFC, but I know he just went and got one. And Cowboy Cerrone, he's another one. I think he has a whole head of hair now, which he used to not have. So, Marab did. There's a couple others and a couple that certainly need it. But hopefully my hair stays intact and I never got to go to Turkey and get it redone. But luckily, I don't have much issue with facial hair and head top hair. Have any of you guys ever had a hair transplant? Did you say your prayers and eat your vitamins today? I ate my vitamins today, and yes, I said my prayers. So I'm locked in, ready for the UFC. You can't go a day without vitamins and prayers, certainly. Okay, so Hought being compared to Cain Velasquez. Kane is also one of those guys. He was never the biggest heavyweight, but he was athletic for the division. And Kane's one of those guys that's more of a lifelong martial artist, right? He was the most complete heavyweight maybe ever. Obviously, the era has changed and the game evolved so fast. It's hard to say he'd be the best heavyweight of all time, but I really do think that Cain Velasquez will always sort of belong on the heavyweight Mount Rushmore. Oh, we got Hought walking all the way across the cage. He just flicked Curtis Blades off within inches of his face. So Curtis looks pretty angry, ready to go. Glory isn't bigger than what it is. Yeah, Glory kickboxing, it's weird because it's huge in other parts of the world, but for some reason, Americans have never taken to kickboxing like the rest of the world has. And I've got a friend, Becca Irwin. She's done some great stuff in kickboxing and Muay Thai. She fought for Glory. So she's transitioned into MMA now, and hopefully one day soon you'll see her in the UFC. But she's a very high-level fighter, but she came from Glory. And, there's so many great strikers over there. If you like striking, not as big of a fan of grappling, then I highly recommend Glory.
Real quick, who's that one guy that
Rico.
Pakistani guy that's in like one or something?
Oh, yes. Chris has reminded me, and I don't even hardly know his name, but that new Dagestani fighter that's in one, I think his next fight's going to be against Rodtang, so it puts him at about 135. Dude is an absolute monster. So good with the spinning attacks.
Dude, Hought with – sorry to cut you off there. Just sat back down and Hought immediately with the pressure.
Yeah.
Flicking Curtis off.
Yes, I can already tell you this fight is more exciting than the Dominic Reyes and Johnny Walker fight.
Curtis cracked him. He
cracked
just Curtis.
Oh, we're looking at a potential early finish. Josh Hought.
Josh Hought
lighting Curtis up like a Christmas tree right now.
Curtis is landing too.
We'll get back to these comments in a second, guys. Hought is on one right now. Now, his hands are all over the place. He's wobbling like crazy, but he is landing some of these shots, and he's throwing with some serious heat.
Curtis is cut up. I think he hit him on the bridge of the nose with one of those shots. Ooh, Curtis lands again there.
Oh, man.
See, Hogan's taking some chances. He's getting cracked, but he's showing a decent chin.
He's got undeniable power, though. He's landing that overhand. Oh, he just flicked him up again. Big shots.
Big shots for Hought.
Yeah, not really into holding his hands up or having much head movement, but, man, he's landing some power.
Curtis is still standing, though.
Yeah, well, he's been dropped once, but, dude, Curtis can take a shot even still, and we've seen him finish.
Well, this shows you how powerful Derek and Francis are.
Yeah.
Because those guys just lit Curtis up with one shot. Hought probably landed 50.
Yeah, and
that's an exaggeration, but at least 25.
Dude, we were just talking about how Rakic goes up to heavyweight. What about Hought going to 205? I mean, he's not that big of a heavyweight.
It may take some of the magic out of it.
Yeah.
I think Hought needs to stay at heavyweight.
Yeah. I'm going to try to.
But he definitely would not be the biggest 205er even.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex Pereira weighs, I think, close to 250 now. He's always like, part of his content shtick right now is like stepping on a scale like once a week, which is hilarious. But
Roman Dolidze's hair transplant is insane. Yes. It's funny because I don't know, maybe the doctors they go to don't have 5-star Yelp reviews. Some people's hair transplants look great. You can't even notice. And then other guys, you can just see it clear as day.
Is Hought fading a little bit here because we're seeing now Curtis on the back against the cage, just had Hought down a second ago. Did he unload? Hought grabbing the top of the cage there.
Yeah. Curtis is definitely in control right now, but I'd say,
the round goes to Hought if it stays like this, because all Curtis is really doing is holding him against the cage. But
if he can get some more shots going, like from this back position, which is an interesting spot to land strikes from. But, and in boxing, you can't punch somebody when they're not facing you. But in MMA, it's a different story. As long as you're not punching the back of the head, you can stand behind them and rain shots down.
And look at the blood coming off of Curtis's nose.
Yeah.
That's what all that is on Hought's back there.
Hought's
dude, with the middle finger again. This guy is something else,
dude. I'll tell you, man. Some people hate it, and I think on the microphone he maybe needs a little bit of work, but this is entertaining.
Look at
this is going to go insanely viral either direction. It goes. Big shot landed.
Big shot by Hought. Big shot. This is maybe fight of the night right here.
You poke the bear and he's going to come after you. And remember, Curtis's name is Razor Blades.
You don't want to piss off Curtis Blades.
Slicing and dicing right now. But this is one hell of a scrap.
Dude, Curtis Blades.
This is what the heavyweight division is all about. We don't need to see a whole bunch of movement. We need to see
What
guys
a fight.
chunk leather.
These guys just threw caution to the wind, and they're just standing in front of each other and punching each other in the face.
And Hough's got a chin.
He does. Yeah, he's been rocked. Listen to DC. This is crazy.
DC's like
53 significant strikes for Curtis Blades. That is
all right. This round goes to him now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Hought was winning the earlier part, but Curtis is definitely winning right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fedor's lucky he didn't come to the UFC. You know, it's one of those things where Fedor truly is one of the best heavyweights of all time. And technically, I'd say he might be the best heavyweight of all time. But, you know, it never made sense. And by the time it would have made sense, he was too old. So we got to see him like do a little bit of stuff in Bellator, which was just not exactly the same.
What is the deal with this guy? He looks like a drunk guy fighting in a Miami bar. Like, I'm quite sure somebody will be doing that same stance with the same middle finger in a bar in the 305 after this contest tonight.
Oh yeah,
and it might be Josh Hought.
Yeah, this looks like
dude. Hought, I'm surprised Hought hasn't hit the deck yet. Curtis has hit him with some huge shots.
And he's wobbling. But
dude,
honestly, the flick off is kind of hilarious.
It's the Nate Diaz. It's like the this generation's Nate Diaz.
But he looks like he's still all the way there in the head. Like he's walking like he's exhausted, but not walking like he's overly concussed, which is crazy because he certainly is.
He's certainly, when you eat 54 shots like that from Curtis Blades in one round, you're concussed.
Agreed, Joey. Banger. This is a banger. This is what we want. Bring the heat to Miami.
Good Lord.
Good thing the nightclubs stay open late in Miami because these guys are going to need to have a couple of cocktails after this one.
So, yeah, Hought came on strong in the beginning. Credit to Curtis, though. He hung on there. Curtis ate some big shots early on. But, again, this just goes to show you, like I said, Francis and Derek's power. It's just a different thing.
Totally different.
Goodness gracious. So, yeah, I 10-9 Curtis Blades, but what a freaking first round.
Yeah, great
Now,
round.
the question's going to be, I don't think Curtis is going to gas. I'm interested to see.
These little white girls in the front row have no idea what they just signed up for.
They're like, what is this?
They're like, my clothes have blood on them now.
All right, let's see. Round 2 starting now. We're 4 minutes and 47 seconds in.
What I can tell you as a technical examination, I think that Josh Hought needs to work his striking because if he can get a little bit of head movement, he's got some pop on his shot. And if I get it, if you want to fight with your hands down, that's fine. I'm not going to tell anybody they shouldn't. Yuri Prohaska does a damn good job with it, but you got to have good head movement if you're going to do that. Oh, great. He just stuffed a takedown from Curtis Blades. Not easy to do. Oh,
straight back to the middle finger for Josh Hought. Not even a minute in, and we got the middle finger out already.
Great. This is what the UFC is all about.
And what a fight.
It's weird. Joe Rogan just goes, Curtis is so tired. But I'd say
Hogan's pretty tired, too.
Yeah, Hogan looks more tired. This is wild, man. Curtis is looking pretty solid, too. Even, nobody can fight at this pace for a full 15 minutes.
Oh, nice shot there by Hought. That one stunned Curtis a little bit. Curtis looking to wrestle. Hogan's got really good takedown defense.
Yep.
Oh, uppercut there by Hought. Another
uppercut.
one.
Another one. It's like DJ Khaled.
He's probably there. He's in Miami. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Okay, we're against the cage. One underhook for Hought.
A shot lands.
Yeah. Body shot there for Hought. Straight back to the head.
Shots. It's crazy. They haven't really bumped heads either.
Yeah, because they're fighting really close to each other. A lot of collar ties.
Yeah.
Good jab. Couple of nice jabs by Curtis Blades there. Hogan's slipping well and landing that too. Backing Curtis up again. Yeah, Hogan needs to clean the head movement up a little bit, and he does a good job of getting inside. But if he could work that head movement a little better, he could do even a more efficient job of it.
Yeah.
All right, we're sort of in a
While we have a short lull in the break, y'all, make sure you send this live stream out to all your friends that might want to join the conversation as well. If you got anybody that's a fight fan and is maybe tired of hearing John Anik, Joe Rogan, and the rest of the conglomerates up at the UFC, let them know we're here. We're having a good time. And the fights are electric, too. So this is not a card to miss.
It is one free thing you can do that helps us out tremendously. If you like this, share it with somebody. Oh, big shot for Hought. Blades is on wobbly legs.
Yeah. He's putting it together now. Okay. He's landing some shots.
Hought might be looking to get a finish or looking at a finish here.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful
Hought landing some massive shots now.
This short exchange might win him this round.
Oh, yeah.
And otherwise,
Hogan's winning this round.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's crazy we're even talking about the judges, but can you imagine if this damn thing goes to the judges' scorecards?
Hey, the last thing the UFC was expecting was for Josh Hought to be in the fight of the year. And in my opinion,
this is up there.
I haven't felt this way about a fight this year for sure.
Offhand, there's been a couple
one fight that's got us out of our seat like
there was a couple good ones on Seattle. There was I mean,
not like this,
but this is wild.
This is even. This is next level. This is fun.
And look at the output for heavyweight. 59 significant strikes last round for Curtis Blades.
Yes, you're right. It is, Roger. This is all arm punches, and that's why they're not getting the knockdowns or knockout. But they are landing some serious shots. If either one of these guys planted their feet, because the other one's not really moving their feet and evading that well. So if you can actually just plant your feet and chunk, you might be able to end this night. But yeah, this is a lot of arm punching. Good comms on that.
But when they do get to distance, Hought's throwing some real pop.
Oh, a knee to the face.
Knee, and so is Curtis Blades for that matter.
Oh,
nice knee for Hought there. Again, sort of back to this half tie-up situation. They're both swinging uppercuts, but to Roger's point that you just said, there's not a whole lot of power, right, that you can put behind those because you're holding their head and you're not really able to get the torque to land a finishing blow. 12 seconds left in round number 2. If you guys can believe it, we are going to round number 3.
Oh, big shot
maybe
again.
I spoke too soon. Big shots to end the round. Yes, we are going to see a round number 3.
I love how he looked like that one went off the rails when it clearly landed flush. He doesn't even know where his corner is.
Wow. 10 minutes
DC is
there.
like laughing like a little schoolgirl.
You know he's only 28.
DC? No, I'm kidding.
Josh Hough's only 28 years old.
He looks every bit of 40 years old.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like amazing to me that I'm a decade older than Josh Hought.
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. I feel like I'm younger than him. All right. Let's hear it. Hough's corner calling for more straight punches. I totally agree with that. Hough's finding home with the ones and twos all day.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to be in these collar tie positions with Curtis. Where he's had Curtis rocked the most is at range. Look at 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, 7, 8, 10 big shots from Curtis, or that Curtis ate. Sorry, and didn't hit the ground. This is
hey, Johnny. Yeah, not fight of the night. This is my fight of the year. I don't think there's been a fight as entertaining as this one this year.
All right, here we go. Round number 3.
This one has big fight feel.
Yeah, this one's gotten me on the edge of my seat. Curtis Blades, Josh Hought. Let's go. Round number 3. 4 minutes and 53 seconds.
Oh, shoot. They're back into it. Nothing about the script is going to change in this third round. These guys are chunking still.
Right out of the gate, these guys are just going to throw. These guys both need $100,000 bonus tonight.
100%. Oh, that sucks.
Curtis looking for a takedown. Hought walked his head right into the cage.
Well, yeah, one thing that most people, if you've not trained inside a cage, don't realize is the cage actually sucks to run your head into or to run your body into. The only thing that doesn't hurt is putting your back up against it, but you smash your head into that cage and it hurts. The top of our heads are not all that tough.
Somebody said on Threads, Josh Hought versus Curtis Blades is one of the best heavyweight fights I've ever seen. I have to agree with that.
100%.
This is insane.
When game bred Jorge Masvidal says this is wild, that you know it's wild. This looks like some backyard stuff like he used to do. Kimbo Slice days.
Yeah, this is just brawl style. Now the interesting thing here, Nick, is that I think it's 1-1. I think Curtis won the first round and Josh Hokett won the second.
Yeah,
so this is still very much anybody's fight.
Yeah, it all comes down to this last 3 minutes essentially. Because this round's even been pretty even.
Yeah, very even. So whoever wins this next 3 minutes is going to win this fight.
Honestly, let's give it a draw, and then we'll have these guys run it back.
Yeah, I'd love to see this one again.
You know, sometimes we're like, oh, there's no way this fight will be boring, or there's no way this fight will suck, and then it sucks. This one is one where I feel like you could put these guys in there 10 times in a row, and it'll be like this 10 times.
Yeah, I don't see how it could be, unless Curtis could really work a takedown and just figure out how to get Josh down. But his takedown defense is really, really good.
Again, I think of
the predictions markets have really shifted in Hokett's favor, which is interesting.
Yeah,
because it was all Blades after the first round, and now it's Hokett.
I'm surprised the prediction market isn't just going bang, bang, bang right around 50.
I can't even imagine. If you look at some of these fights on Kalshi when they're actually happening, like the amount of bets.
Ooh, big elbow landed by Hokett. Another one. Oh,
it's pretty insane. Let's see, 2 minutes and 37 seconds. I mean, this fight is still up for grabs. Let's see who wants it more here.
Curtis's chin has his back tonight. You're damn right it does. And I guess it's one of those things where you take enough time from getting knocked out by Derek and Francis. What was that, twice? And you fully redeemed yourself.
Ooh, nice knee by Hokett.
What I like about this fight is they're both clearly tired, and neither of them are giving an
Curtis
edge.
Taking a big look at the clock there.
Yeah, but not avoiding engaging, right?
No.
This is what it's all about.
This is a great fight. This is an all-time great heavyweight fight. So back and forth, too. I mean, both guys have landed massive shots on the other.
We need to tweet this one.
Yeah.
If you have your phone on Twitter, we need to say this is a fight of the year. In my humble opinion. Look, 184 Blades strikes landed to 115. So Curtis is significantly outlanding, which, you know, it's not all about numbers. It's more about damage, but the damage seems almost even as well. This is crazy. Two heavyweights fighting at this pace for a full, right now we're at 14 minutes, and I don't see the last minute slowing down at all. This is insane.
1 minute to go. Who's going to take it?
Hate it or love it, Josh Hokett is good for the heavyweight division.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, he wobbled him a little bit. Even all the way on this
45 significant strikes. So it literally could come down to who wins the last 45 seconds.
Yep. They both deserve 100K after this.
Yeah, I don't see any world where they don't get it. This is insane. 30 seconds left. Let's go here. Let's go for that. Both these guys are exhausted. Oh, big elbow by Josh Hokett.
Nice. Good little pummeling. Another big elbow. Another shot landed by Curtis. Guys, drop it in the chat. Who do you think won this fight?
Who the hell
honestly?
won this fight? Seriously.
Not mad at either direction, honestly. And both guys earned so much respect for that one. They're showing the UFC brass right now, and it looks like everybody's just in awe of that performance. And here's the thing. Josh Hokett, yeah, the antics, some people don't like him. I get that. But when you go out and perform like that,
people like the fighting. If you do the shit and then you don't perform in the cage, people get annoyed with it. But when you get in there and throw down like that, people will put up with your shtick, you know?
100%. That is job security right there. Curtis Blades should go nowhere, and Josh Hokett should go nowhere. They belong in the UFC. And honestly, who else can manage this kind of pace at heavyweight? There's only a couple, and then they're all the guys in the title fights in the top positions. that could actually
Oh, sorry.
go.
Your prediction was Hought decision.
Hought decision. Come on. It could go that way. This is crazy.
Wow. Let's see. Let me jump in the chat real quick here.
Hought 3-0, maybe 2-1. All right. I gave 1 round to Curtis. I'm gonna go 2-1 Hought. Split decision though, probably. And shout out Call Sheet. There's a little commercial. I'm gonna go pee real quick. I'll be right back. Before the decision.
All right, just dropped in the chat. Want to get y'all's opinion. Who won that? Curtis Blades or Josh Hought? That was insane. Let me pull it back up on my phone so I can see everything coming through here. Wow, I just can't get behind Hokett's shtick, but he brings it for sure. Yeah, I hear that. You know, the thing about it is like people get annoyed with the shtick if you don't perform in the cage, but he performed tonight. That was incredible. Fight of the night. Curtis's chin has his back. 100K ain't enough for this. This is $1 million effort. Let's go. Rogers says draw. I mean, it probably won't math out that way, you know, because I don't think any of the rounds were 10-8, but man, that feels like the right call. I think Hought 3-0. Interesting, K Money. Thanks for joining the live too, by the way. Josh, man, that was impressive. Holy crap, yeah. Hought ain't pulling that off on Derek and Tuivasa. Throw him against either one of those guys. Yeah, I mean, you do that. You stand in front of Derek like that, you're getting slept. There's no question about it.
All 3 judges agree. 29-28. Winner.
Unanimous decision. 2 rounds to 1. Josh Hought and still undefeated. Wow.
My prediction was on the money.
All right. I am going to shut my beak for a minute and listen to what the hell this guy has to say on the microphone.
Yeah,
I can only imagine. All right, Joe's with Hought now. Telling him it was insane. Here he goes. Ooh, Chama these nuts. Wow.
Come on.
Calling out Alex Pereira. So, I mean, yeah, you're getting slept fighting like that against AP, but
well, I don't know. Alex Pereira got knocked out by Israel Adesanya. That's a full-bodied heavyweight right there.
Yeah, but Izzy was clean with like the Josh Hought would be way too hittable for Pereira, I think. But I mean,
Pereira gets hit.
It's compelling. It's compelling.
Michael Irvin enjoyed it,
but the big thing is Alex has got to beat Cyril. Now, if he beats Cyril, Hokett's probably one after a performance like that. He's probably one away from a title fight. Good to see Alexandre Pantoja back in the arena. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we'll see him back in action soon. Zach Brown's got some gray in that beard, man. I haven't seen Zach in a long time. He's looking sharp. All righty.
Well, they've got Zach Brown performing on the UFC's White House weekend.
So 100% in the chat thought that Hought won. Not a single person gave it to Blades. That's interesting.
Well, I mean, he was pressuring forward, and the damage was damn near even, so I get it.
Let's go. Let's go. Wow. Man, I feel like I need a breather after that fight.
I need a cigarette.
Yeah, I need a Zen. Yeah, you know.
I got you, bro.
No. I'll be up and out of here if I did one of those. Mm-hmm. But
anybody a nicotine fan out there? Let us know. I got the 9
whoa,
millis.
What the hell is that? Chris, can you I don't know what that is, but
Delete them all.
yeah, just delete
What
that.
the hell
yeah.
is even that?
Josh would do way more wrestling against Alex or Gone. Yeah, I agree
Agreed.
with that, Johnny. No doubt.
And that's the thing. If he took Alex down, he's a
Yeah.
D1 wrestler.
Yeah.
Now, it's not easy to get Alex down, but a wrestler, if anybody can do it, it'd be a wrestler. Agreed, K-Money. That fight is going into the Hall of Fame. It deserves it. That was my favorite fight of 2026. Hought versus Blades was my favorite fight of 2026. Put it down now. And, hey, it's a tall order if you want to be more entertaining than that. Somebody's going to have to go for blood if they want to beat that.
Yeah, that was wild. You know what's interesting, Nick? I put on X, what a freaking fight. Hought and Blades just put on a Hall of Fame performance. Who won? Now, our chat was 100% Hought.
Correct.
On X, there's been 19 votes. It's 57% Blades, 42% Hought. That's very interesting. The YouTube folks are more savvy, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Shout out to all y'all watching on X.
The casuals on X maybe don't know. No, I'm joking. Yeah, true.
All right, who am I doing for this one?
How's it?
Russian guy?
Views good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, guys. I guess that means we're on to the – is that co-main event?
Yeah, Paulo Costa. I still think he wins it.
Yeah?
Size difference.
I don't know that Azamat, he's sharp and fast.
Wow.
I did see what you said. Costa's a big guy. He was taller than him, but
Yeah, Joey, I wish Joe would have said, let's give it up for Curtis Blades. I agree. Like, that was credit to Curtis. I mean, holy shit, that was.
And Curtis gets a lot of hate, you know, whether you love Curtis or hate Curtis, whatever. Curtis Blades doing that just fully redeemed himself, and everybody should be a Curtis Blades fans for giving us that single performance.
Anytime you put on a performance like that, you deserve respect. That's insane.
Mick and Sean are happy. Yeah, Mick Maynard, he's also, again, another Houston guy. He comes to Main Street all the time, does private lessons with my coach, crew, Bob Perez. I am definitely going to pick his brain about that fight because I can't wait to hear his thoughts.
All right. Let me pop one in the chat for the co-main.
I just popped one in the upper deck, too.
How does it end? You think decision?
No, it feels like the energy of the place is either they got what they wanted and now everything's going to be a decision from here, or they just lit the place on fire. Paulo Costa does want to finish. He seems like the kind of guy, even though he goes decision a lot, he does want to finish fights. So going up to 205, he looks big. I'm interested to see if Costa gasses or if he actually is more conditioned with a lighter cut. Oh, Azamat's fight name is The Professional? I thought they called him like the Berserker or something.
Wow. Somebody's K-Money put Hought on the White House card. Honestly, I was thinking the same thing.
100%.
You know,
versus Waldo.
Yeah. Well, Waldo's got a fight coming up at 328.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's fighting, what is that, Volkov? He's fighting Volkov.
Yeah.
You could do Hought. Here's the thing. Like, Derek Lewis was supposed to be on the White House card.
Yep.
He was the only fighter, from what I remember back in the day when you told me that, like, Trump was like, I don't care who's on the card except I want Derek Lewis on the card. Now, the Waldo fight wasn't great. I'll give him that. But Hought versus, I mean, Dana was saying, I'm thinking about adding a fight.
Yeah.
Why the hell not open the card up with Derek
Hought.
Lewis versus Josh Hought?
Yeah, an American wins either way, and
a fan favorite or a heel, you know?
And arguably now two of the best on the microphone post fight.
Can you imagine the press conference with those two?
It would be amazing.
That would be truly insane.
What's the name of that club or that place right there?
The Clevelander.
Oh, the Clevelander.
The Clevelander is a cool spot in Miami. Back in my days when I was single and didn't have the family responsibilities, I hung out there a few times.
There you go.
Those days are long gone now.
Yep,
I go down to Miami with my family and stay at a resort and take them to the beach.
Yeah, maybe go to Fort Lauderdale where it's a little bit more kid friendly. I still need to go down to Miami and see what's up.
It's an electric city, Crazy. Everything's crazy expensive down there now. But
I was talking to some guys too. I said, of all, they were from New Orleans or from Louisiana. I said, it feels to me like the two most unique cities in the country are New Orleans and Miami. I feel like they're the ones that have the most, singular vibe. Like, Miami is very Miami. New Orleans is very New Orleans.
Miami almost feels like a different country in parts of it. It's like,
and so does New Orleans. Apparently.
Yeah, it does as well. Yeah.
Isn't it weird that New Orleans is considered like the Caribbean, or I think they consider.
I've seen that before. I'm not exactly sure what the heck that even means, but
and they're below sea level, which is weird. I never really understood that.
That's why they got flooded out so bad with Katrina. That there's the dams and the levees that were supposed to prevent that water from coming in, and that's what broke.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is why there's a bunch of New Orleans people here. Regis Prograis.
Yeah,
he's a
Katrina
from Katrina.
Yeah. He left from that because there was nowhere to go back to, and he found a home here in Houston.
You know how a lot of people died in Katrina was they went to their attics because the water was filling up, and they didn't have a way to break out onto their roofs, and the water just kept going.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
They needed a Walmart drone to take them out of there.
All right, here we go. We got some B-roll of Paulo Costa here. Let's drop one in the chat and see who everybody thinks is winning the co-main event real quick.
No homo, but Paulo Costa may be the best looking guy on the roster now that Luke Rockhold's gone.
Oldberg is not bad looking.
No, yeah, Oldberg's a looker too. Somebody said in the comments, several people actually this week when we were making the videos said that I look like Yuri Prohashka, and how dare I look so much like him and then pick against him. But
how do you spell Murzakayev?
Murzakaanov.
Murzakhanov, sorry.
Murzakayev is the guy that Tyson Fury fought. I think.
That's right. Yeah. Tyson Fury looked good today, by the way. Called out Anthony Joshua at the end of it.
And we picked it both correctly, but I'll say you even put a cherry on top by saying he's fighting Anthony Joshua next. And I believe
I said at the end of the year.
At the end of the year.
Because he's fighting Anthony Joshua next, but Anthony Joshua is not fighting him next. I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to do, and AJ played it cool. I don't know if you saw the.
I did. I watched. Yeah.
But he's like, I don't do what you say. Basically, I'm the one that makes the rules. AJ wants Wilder. AJ wants to knock out Deontay Wilder. He feels like he's got him at the right time. He's old, he's hittable, and he wants to come back, fight Wilder in the summer, and then fight Tyson Fury at the end of the year.
I hear that,
which I'm not mad at. I mean, those were the fights we wanted, anyways, right? AJ, Wilder, and Fury just is now happening. 5 years after we wanted it to happen. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, they're basically it's a consolation to see who the next best behind Usyk is in the world. Right now it's Tyson Fury, but I think the real fight to make is Joshua and Fury. Wilder, obviously, he had his day, and I'm sure that fight would be entertaining, but I'd rather see Fury and Joshua lock it in for later this year and just focus on that.
And the problem with Deontay Wilder is that, the last thing to go is the power. He could seriously derail AJ versus Fury with a knockout.
Yeah.
And AJ's been knocked out before, so it's not like it couldn't happen.
And then Tyson and Deontay, if Joshua wins, we don't need to see Tyson and Deontay.
Right. Yeah. We don't need to see that.
So that's why we need to not have that.
All right. Let's see here. K-Money, I'm 50-50 about this fight, but I'm leaning towards Azmat by KO or boring decision. I want Paulo to win, though. Yeah, I like Azmat in this one as well, and I think he's faster. I think his hands are faster. I think his hands are more accurate, and I think he's going to make Paulo somewhat of a stationary target tonight. So I like him to win this one.
And look, you can't really take one little clip, but I will say this: they kept showing every time they showed Azamat in the embeddeds, he was training. Every time they showed Paulo Costa, he was on a boat, he was hanging out, he was relaxing. And sometimes, it feels like fight week is the celebration, but some of these Russian guys, they don't treat it like that. They're like, no, we'll go celebrate a week later in Russia. right now it's all about business. And sometimes I think that can actually benefit the person who's
Yeah.
a little more locked in.
But I will say Paulo was great at the press conference. He was
Yeah.
he was the Paulo Costa of old, but he turned it up a little bit, which I kind of appreciated.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. The chat's pretty split on this one. 50-50 so far for Costa Mirzakhanov. You know, I think if Costa uses some grappling, if he lands big shots early, he can have some success here.
Mm-hmm.
I think if this thing goes long, if Mirzakhanov is able to be light and move around and hit with his accuracy at range, Paulo's gonna fade late. He's not gonna have much answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that
definitely the tail of the bodies won't tell you the story here. That's for sure.
No, and you know, I think the energy of that last fight, they must have been hearing it. I'm sure they heard the roaring crowd.
Oh, no way they didn't hear that.
So all of Miami probably heard that fight.
Yeah, no question. That was
the punches and the crowd.
Not to mention, Hoku was probably starting stuff with him backstage.
Yeah.
Walking back.
Yeah, something tells me Hoke might be in another fight before this night ends.
Probably so.
He's probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Yuri was like, who? I think Carlos Ulberg was like, who the hell is that guy?
Yeah.
He was like, you should come up. You're looking kind of big. You should come up to heavyweight, big boy. And Carlos is like, is that guy a fighter? Who the hell is that guy?
Yeah, I'm confused. All right,
All
36.
right, here we go. 36 and 34. Reach almost the same, even though Paulo is 2 inches taller. Let's see. Yeah, Mirzakhanov, it's interesting that he's a light heavyweight too, because 5'10", you know, and not to body shame, right? He's in better shape than I'm in, but you know, he looks like he could be a 185er if he tightened things up a little bit.
100%. And a dense one at that.
Yeah. You talk about hair plugs. I think Paulo, when I went to the bathroom, I heard y'all talking about that on the chat. I think Paulo's got himself some.
Yep, me too. What up, guys? I see there's a few new people in the live chat. What up? Thank y'all so much for joining. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like this video. If you've got fight fan friends, if you know you're not the only weird one that loves to watch a little bit of human violence, send this out to your friends. Let them know we're here. We're on all the big events. We said at the beginning of the year we're going to be here for all the cards, but I'm going to be completely honest. Some of these fight nights have been absolute dog water. And, you know, if the UFC puts effort into the cards, then we will put effort into live streams. But we have so much going on in life. You know, some of these fight nights, it feels like they can't draw flies. So we'll save it up for this stuff. And we'll always be here for the numbered events and even the
big fight nights.
The big fight nights, yeah.
You know, the problem is that, you know, we did show up for a few of the Apex events and, you know, it was just very minimal as far as the people that popped in. And so it was like we kind of made the decision, okay, you know, let's focus, because Sunday is when we record our actual, you know, we sit down and think through what our topics are going to be. And this is more of a free-flowing thing, right? And so we said, you know, let's put our effort into really making a good episode Sunday and then try to do another one or two midweek and, you know, provide better content that way, seeing as it was kind of light, you know, for those fight nights. But I'm thinking about setting up a little rig myself at home just to, you know, because this is not my house. This is Chris's house, but we live less than a mile away from each other, you know, doing, you know, some live streams for when Contender Series pops back on. And, you know, Nick's got a lot going on in his life and his schedule. He's working on training fighters now and stuff. So maybe I'll do some solo ones for some of those Apex cards. We'll see. But we are round one, light heavyweight bout, Mirzakhanov versus Paulo Costa. Mirzakhanov light on his feet straight out of the gate. But I tell you, for being a smaller light heavyweight, he's got some tree trunks on him. Look at those legs.
Yep. And there's a lot of tension. You can feel it. They're both trying to figure this thing out early on. Bouncing, both look pretty athletic in their footwork. So the footwork should be the thing to pay attention to in this first round until they start throwing. But already not quite the fight that the last one was.
Big throw there from Mirzakhanov, but Paulo timed it well and landed. Was that a knee up the middle? I didn't quite see that.
It looks like their legs clashed.
Mirzakhanov definitely the aggressor here. Paulo fighting with his back to the cage.
And you know Paulo's loving this. Instead of Utah, he's on sea level down in Miami where he won't gas out quite as fast.
God, that was such a notorious gas out with him and Luke Rockhold there.
Yeah. The only saving grace is that they were losing energy at the exact same time and same level.
Didn't Paulo like rub his
No, that was Sean, that was Luke.
or was
Rockhold.
that Luke Rockhold that did that?
His face was bleeding, I think, and he just started wiping it all over Paulo's face.
That was weird. That was one of the weirdest fights ever.
Luke Rockhold's a weird one.
He's a strange bird.
But I got love for the former middleweight champ.
Nice head kick there for Paulo Costa, followed up by a
Big
good body
body
kick, which was caught by Mirzakhanov.
And then a beautiful technique to get that caught leg back. You just push. So once you get your leg caught in a kick, the best thing you can do is actually bend your knee and then push back on their body. It'll usually get your leg back to safety, back to the ground. Nice
Good body shot there by Mirzakhanov.
Again, still tense air in the octagon.
Yeah, neither one of the guys has really,
committed
yet. Big head kick from Paulo, but that was about it.
Oh man! And see, Azamat just got himself into range and didn't throw because again the tension's there.
Let's see, another body kick by Paulo, blocked mostly by Mirzakhanov.
Yeah, his checks are pretty good too. I've noticed a few good checks this round. All
nice
right.
overhand
he's
there by
applying
Mirzakhanov.
pressure now. All right, poked him in the eye.
Looks like we have an eye poke here.
The benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I don't think he's faking an eye poke. Let's take a look.
No.
That was a thumb.
Oh,
Yeah, it was Paulo's thumb.
Thumb right to the eye. And in fairness, it did detour the shot.
Paulo smiled at him after he thumbed him, Joe said.
Man, nothing worse than getting thumbed.
Just ask Tom Aspinall.
I can't see.
He did. Yeah, I tell you what's worse than getting thumbed. It's getting double poked by Cyril Gahn.
What would it take?
For
still, still the wildest thing anybody's ever asked Nina Drama.
But by a country mile.
Yeah,
I mean that was just flat out weird.
Mm-hmm. And people are like, "No, it's British humor." I'm like, "All right, British humor's a little pervy."
Like, hey, listen, I'm all for that. I love a little inappropriate humor, but that was wild. I think they might have got putting one of the big boy refs in there for these two. Keith Peterson's looking a little undersized here.
Yeah.
Where's Mark Goddard?
Well, or Big John McCarthy as it was.
How many years has it been since John refed a fight?
It's been a while. And he's the OG, man.
Bellator was popping when he was like one of their people.
Yeah.
Mark Goddard used to fight.
Yeah.
Looked just like Drickus.
It's awkward ass style.
So far, Mirzakhanov still the aggressor.
Yeah. And see, this is the thing with Paulo. He always says he's down to engage, and then he usually just stays on his bike and moves around too
Big
much.
shots by Mirzakhanov.
Big
Nice
shots.
knee answered by Paulo Costa. You're getting a little into it now.
Mm-hmm. Open stance. So it's an interesting fight. Whenever you're in the open stance, it's an opposite fight from what most people are familiar with. Ortho versus ortho. You see so many traditional tactics, but open stance is a totally different ball game, and there are so many great weapons to use, but also there's some serious things you have to avoid. And if you're not familiar with working with an open stance southpaw fighter, it can be very confusing.
Yeah.
Costa's up on the scorecard, but significant strikes, for the most part, it's been kicks. It's hard to really say that he's got a clear advantage in this round.
Now, when you say up on the scorecard, you mean just significant strikes landed,
yeah,
and the percentage. Okay, we got Costa on top now. Looks like it was a slip by Mirzakhanov, but there definitely was a shot involved.
Yeah.
Good way to end this round for Paulo. I think this is a square round for Costa, especially seeing as if the round finishes out the final 30 seconds with him sort of in this top position half guard.
Big elbow.
Nice elbow for Costa. Light heavyweight. Ooh, big uppercut for Paulo Costa. Light heavyweight might be his division, man. Maybe his cardio is going to be better without sucking all that weight. It certainly would make sense.
Yep.
Paulo looking really good. All right, let's jump in the chat for 1 second. JP, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the chat.
Yo.
I'm sure it was already talked about, but what happens next with Reyes as the winner of that snoozer? Dana was fuming at that. Yeah, we talked. What we basically said was, a lot of people were saying cut both guys. Obviously, I don't think either one of them will be cut, but I don't think either one of those guys should be fighting on numbered event main cards with performances like that. So maybe it's a fight night main card, or maybe it's the prelims of a numbered card. But yeah, that was a snoozer. To be honest, we've been trying to call all these fights from Cub Swanson on, and we've been trying to go play by play. That was the only fight where the chat literally got to talking about music and different bands and stuff like that, because the fight was just that bad. Let's see here. The spinning kicks that Costa landed on Whitaker was as clean as you can get with that kick. He's got tricks up his sleeves for sure. Yeah, Joey, Costa's a vet. He knows what he's doing.
And he's athletic, so he can really use that athleticism to his advantage. He's got an angry Azamat now in the cage with him, though, so it'll be interesting to see if that benefits Azamat or if it is to his detriment. Because sometimes when you get angry, you get eye poked and that sort of stuff. Now you in the round on the bottom, it's kind of tough, but we'll see how he adjusts for round 2.
All right, Azamat the aggressor again, but that didn't matter in the first round. Paulo was landing from the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Rogan talking about the inside low kick that Costa's landing. That's it has been money for him for sure.
Yeah, it's risky to throw it on the inside though, because that shin bone is right there. So
yeah, that's a hard one to place because it's a high risk, not very huge upside reward.
Right.
I guess if you can hit the meat on the inside of the thigh,
but that's a different kick though, right? If you kick the calf,
you're talking inside calf kick, yeah.
And that's where he's been placing it, which is fine. But again, I always say, even if the person's not great at checking kicks, if they flinch a little bit, you're focusing right in on that shin bone, which is brutal to kick. And the peroneal nerve is the real thing that everybody looks for when they're going for calf kicks, but that's on the outside.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot on the inside. Oh, big shot.
Nice body shot by Mirzakhanov.
Costa's breathing through his mouth right now. He looks a little bit tired, but he's still very much
this round could be going to Mirzakhanov, though.
Yeah.
Costa looked good in the beginning, but Mirzakhanov's starting to put some things together here.
Yep.
Yeah, Costa's showing the signs of getting tired, which is not great. Good body kick for Costa, though. The secret juice is hopefully going to kick his cardio in here in a second. He's Joey money with that body kick.
Took the words out of our mouth. Costa's fading. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big shots from Mirzakhanov. And this is where, we're almost exactly to the second, halfway through the fight now, if it goes all 3. So fading 50% in is not a good thing.
Yep. And if I was Azamat's coach, I would be saying, you got to get him biting on some feints. Right now he's landing shots, but he's only throwing shots. He's not feinting and then setting something else up. If he feints, a lot of things open because it appears Costa's kind of biting on everything.
Yeah. And
oh, beautiful jab. 1-2 clean for Azamat. Mirzakhanov coming in strong for
nice
round 2.
knee for Costa.
I think he knows he's down and he's got to get this round back.
Yeah, well, Azamat's definitely winning this round. JP Gins, Azamat looks like Arnold Allen with the southpaw bounce in and the step. Yeah, that's actually a great reference. I was, kind of thinking who is somebody that he sort of fights like, and yeah, Arnold Allen. I could see that actually being a good comparison to draw there because he is so light on his feet, in and out, good straight punches. But Mirzakhanov is definitely winning the second half of this round. Paulo's still got the body kicks going, which are good. But I don't think that's going to be enough to win the round for him. So I think it's going to be 1-1 at the end of this.
Yeah, great body shots,
to
great pressure, great control of the octagon. Azamat is definitely winning this round. 2 takedowns
Beautiful
now.
takedown straight into the scarfold position.
He's looking for just an absolute squeezing.
That's not really a submission, but
when you can't breathe well, it sucks.
Yeah, it's not fun. But I think he compromised position a little bit for that. I'm not sure why he held on to that.
Was that
Mr. 305?
I wouldn't surprise me. All right, Mirzakhanov is up. That was a bit of a mistake, in my opinion, by Mirzakhanov there. Especially as slippery as Costa was, right? How he just slipped right out of the back of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still got the main event next. This has been an electric card.
Yeah.
All right, we got about 20 seconds left in round number 2.
Quarter.
Drop it in the chat, guys. Who do you think won round 2? I give this one to Mirzakhanov. Round 1 to Costa, round 2 to Mirzakhanov, which would make it 1-1 going into the third here. K-Money, Mirzakhanov starting to take over now. Yeah, exactly. But he is busted up. Paulo did do some damage at the end of that round there, even though I think he lost the round. Costa's camp saying this is the last round. Not great body language out of Costa, Nick. He's looking a little exhausted.
Sure is. And Azamat's tired, but clearly he finished that round stronger. I got it 1-1.
All righty. Azamat forgot the golden rule: position over submission. You got that right. Yeah, I mean, first of all, the scarfold position is not really somewhere where you're going to submit somebody. I mean, you can, but it's not a high percentage submission position to begin with. And especially with somebody who's big and strong and a black belt in jiu-jitsu and also, super sweaty, can just, like Paulo Costa, can slip out of the back and then you're on bottom, which is why I still think he won the round, but I think he may have been able to avoid eating those big shots that busted his face open had he not held on to that scarfold position and looked to transition to just maintaining a good top position. All right, we got 22 in the chat now on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate all of you. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate it. Round number 3. I have it 1-1. Nice inside leg kick by Costa to a beautiful head kick. Costa's coming out strong. Oh, wow. Big head kick again for Costa. He's looking to get this thing done in the early part of round 3. Mirzakhanov ate it well. He's back on.
He must have taken a swig of some secret juice.
Yeah, Mirzakhanov's got a chin on him because that was a huge head kick. Another head kick for Costa. Mirzakhanov's got to watch those head kicks. I mean, they're powerful, but it's not like they're the least telegraphed thing ever either,
Right.
Yeah, that's a great point by Joe Rogan. Even though it's hitting the arm, like how much damage is that doing to the arm? That's called tearing up. What do you call that, Nick? Beating up the weapons?
Yeah. Yep. If he can continue to bruise up those arms, and you can't punch as much, and also it forces you to maintain a high guard, which is actually one of the harder places to fire your own offense off. If you're worried about somebody kicking, and again, open stance. That's one of the tactics that works so well in the open stance is kick. Send kicks with your back leg.
Big head kick for Costa. That's it. Fight's over. Delayed
over.
TKO. Paulo Costa with the head kick knockout. Wow. Light heavyweight. Just got exciting. Wow. Yeah, this is where Paulo should have been all along. Fantastic performance and finish. And he showed a lot of durability in this fight, right? I mean, that was not an easy fight.
Chris, you were right about that one.
Dana's on the phone.
I went with
Asmat.
all the comments there, buddy.
Roger says, I call it breaking the shield. Yeah, 100%. When you're damaging those arms, I mean, either one, you're going to bring the hands down and, you know, which is basically what Costa did. You know, he was able to, you know, weaken the integrity of those arms and then just find that head kick knockout. Joey, there goes my stupid parlay. What was the parlay, man? Drop the parlay in the chat. I mean, I picked Mirzakhanov to win this fight too. I didn't have a parlay on it, but yeah, that was fun. Yeah, Dana White saying 16-0. Trump giving him his praises. So he wants to come to the White House, but let's see. Boom. See, Paulo timed that really well too, because he was Mirzakhanov was ducking into the head kicks a little bit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Boom. That was the one that finished it.
One, yeah, that was the second one.
I think that was the finisher there. He went down.
Shane Burgos.
Yeah, boom.
Yeah.
That was a scary knockout.
Great performance for Paulo Costa.
Yeah, and now, I mean, Mirzakhanov was 6, I believe, number 6.
Yep.
So that puts Costa.
If he's smart, he'll call out whoever he thinks is going to win the main event. Don't call out the winner. Call out whoever you think is going to win. And worst case scenario, you have to fight that. If they lose, worst case scenario, you got to fight them before you get a title shot. But if you make the right call out, there's a chance you skip the line and jump right into a title shot.
God, how fun would Yuri versus Costa be?
Probably pretty wild.
All right. One fight left, guys. One fight left. All right, let's see here. Let's check out this parlay Joey had. I had Asmat along with a few hockey and MLB picks for tomorrow. And gotcha. And OKC to beat the Suns. Are you a hockey fan? You know, Nick played hockey for many years. That was his sport way before he got into MMA.
One of my goals with the channel, we're going to bring some more live streaming, not just of the fights, but live streams in general. One of my goals is to get Arman Sarukian on the ice because he played hockey. He grew up in Russia. I was, you know, lucky enough to play for the USA Selects, Junior Olympics, and pretty cool. I got to travel the world and play hockey, and it would be really cool to get on the ice and do some sort of a live stream hockey match or something, hockey game, something we can do with
just play like knockout. Like, what do you call that game?
Well, we could do like penalty shots, right? Yeah, I'll drop the gloves with him. That pretty fair fight, I think.
All right, here we go. Let's see what Joe Rogan and Paulo Costa have to say here. Costa's usually good on the mic.
Yep. Miami is delivering, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe saying that was a vintage throwback Paulo Costa from when he was super scary back in the day.
Man, thank you, Joey. I appreciate that. Yeah, we've had a pretty cool life so far, and I feel like it's only getting started now. So, yeah, it's been a fun ride, and to be able, you know, I ended up even having to homeschool for some of my high school and stuff because the hockey got so serious. It ended about 17 years old, and I was stuck between either moving to Canada and dropping out of school or sticking with high school. And I decided to stick with school, but I had several friends get drafted to the NHL. A couple of them wound up getting a little bit of ice time, but yeah, man, definitely a fun chapter of my life.
Paulo saying he asked Mick Maynard for this fight. He said, cool. I want that undefeated Russian, which that's a great way to enter the division.
Yeah, take no easy fights. And these two should switch divisions, man. I think Azamat would look good at 185.
Paulo saying he wants the best.
Yep.
Thanks to God, thanks to Jesus Christ.
Spit on the camera.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Talking about how hard of a worker he is.
And I guess the verdict's out. He is more conditioned at 205, so the cut was just depleting him too much.
He still was a little gassed, but I think he can work on that.
Yeah. Well said. Rogan said it's hard to imagine he was ever making 185. Beautiful setup. Great kick. Azamat's a warrior, dude. I mean, it wasn't him quitting. It's
he didn't lay
down
down
down.
Wow.
You want to leave the UFC? He wants to bring great performances, and it looks like he wants to stay at 205. Bring the fire into the cage, and he wants to stay. It appears he just wants entertaining fights, high-profile fights, and obviously to climb the ranks of the now light heavyweight division that he's in, and on a win streak now. He's got a 1-fight win streak at light heavyweight. Might as well ride that momentum because, to be honest, 185 is way more stacked, and it didn't look like he was ever going to get to a belt at 185, especially not with the current setup. As Hamzat being the champion, but I certainly think at 205 there's some case where he could make it to a pretty interesting area, or potentially even in a title fight. There goes Justin Gaethje, one half of your main event, the White House.
205, is he getting an immediate title shot if he beats Sean Strickland, or would he fight somebody like Apollo?
Oh yeah, no. If Hamzat wins against Sean Strickland at 185,
it's John Jones and Gable Steveson. Wow. I wonder if there's any drama still with him and John. Oh, wow. Here we go. Gable Steveson signs with the UFC, set to debut International Fight Week, UFC 327. That's interesting.
Give him Hought.
Now, who do you put him up against for his first fight?
And there was a sense of urgency to sign him because MVP was certainly looking at getting him. And if they would have got him, they would have paid him a boatload of money, and then the UFC would have been hard-pressed to beat that offer. But we all know that the UFC Gold is the most prestigious in all combat sports, so it makes sense that he made it over there. Honestly, skill for skill, he could be one of the best heavyweights in the world in just a matter of, a year or two. And with guys like him and Hought, it feels like there might be some sort of energy and juice put back into the heavyweight division, which they've honestly needed.
So Joe asking if there was confirmation that Azamat hurt his left arm.
We got Yuri on camera now. He is locked and loaded, ready to go.
K Money said, wow, he signed. That's so sick. I agree. Bro, him versus Hought, that's such a good fight. Yeah, I mean, that would be a hell of a tough first fight for Gable because Hought is also a wrestler. Now, there's levels to wrestling, and Hokett's nowhere near Gable's. But, Gable's also been cracked by low-level guys.
Yeah.
Now, he's handled it well, but he's been cracked nonetheless.
Yeah. When you're talking about 150 significant strikes landing at that type of power and volume, that's difficult to deal with when you're still very new into your UFC career.
Yeah.
Double check on the,
All right.
just make sure the lives.
Check the live chat here.
You have
Do
you have a water?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of hot in here.
Yeah, it is a little warm.
Yeah.
Probably the lights, and there's no real. There's only one AC vent in here.
And we get to main event. There's no way these guys don't deliver. But gosh, even if they lay an egg, it feels like this card has been well worth what a pay-per-view used to be worth.
Yeah, there's no way Yuri lays an egg. Thank you, buddy. Even if he loses the fight, it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
All right, who you guys got in this one? This was one of the ones that Nick and I got ragged on the most, and I think it's because Yuri's such a fan favorite.
Yeah,
I hope I'm wrong. Honestly, I'm going to cheer for Yuri, but I think Carlos Ulberg is going to have his night tonight.
Yeah, I'd much rather see Yuri win this fight, but I do worry about the sniper versus the guy who keeps his hands down, and he always pressures forward. But again, Ulberg is very good at sticking and moving, and if he can wind up getting Yuri to run in and then force himself or force Yuri to run into some shots early, that could mean a deteriorated version of Yuri come the championship rounds. And if that's the case, then yeah, Ulberg's got a real shot at winning this fight. I still think if he wins, it goes decision, but Yuri Prochazka can change a fight with a single shot.
So who am I betting on for the last fight of the night?
I am going Carlos Ulberg. Let's see here. Rogers. What is it?
Oh, they're just talking about how they're trying to add another fight to the White House, and it could very well be Josh Hought versus Derek Lewis.
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. I mean, it's not official, but it seems like that's kind of what they're talking about. Joe Rogan, DC, and John Anik talking about Hought and Derek Lewis potentially getting added to the White House card. I'd love to see it for Derek. I think that those guys would bring the heat, and it would be a very entertaining fight.
Oh, so Siraj said, actually, who do you guys have for Lewis versus Hought? It just got announced for the White House. I'm sorry, we
Dana
were talking
live. Oh, Dana, see, we can't see the lives that Dana makes in these instant moments, but I guess it's official now. Josh Hought versus Derek Lewis on the UFC White House card. It's probably because Donald Trump was in there, and he's always wanted Derek to be on that card.
Yeah.
So, Derek lost a fight, and the UFC went a different direction. But, the guy who's putting the show on, the leader of the free world, he kind of does have a say. It's his house, after all, that they're throwing the event at. And I think it's really cool to me that the UFC fighters and the sport of MMA get such close, proximity to a world leader. Like it's interesting to me because no other sport has that. No other sport has gone to the White House and put on a show. It's not really something that any sport could do, but the UFC made it happen. And, to me, it makes the most sense to give a guy like Derek Lewis, who the president loves, it's like a birthday gift to him. So it makes sense that they would do that.
It's it's interesting. And like in general, I'm glad that the UFC doesn't do it that often, right? It's like you don't want any sports organization that you're a fan of to be overly political in any direction. And but the White House event on the 250th anniversary of the country, it's kind of a one-off, really cool thing.
Oh yeah,
and cool. A lot of the fighters were pining to be on that. And Derek, is a big Trump fan, and he was. You've seen him since in the last couple of months. I haven't, but I'm sure he was disappointed that he was not selected for that card because, back in the day, he was the one. It was like Derek is we don't know who the card's going to be, but the only person that Trump has personally requested is Derek Lewis. And then it's like, well, that's kind of a bummer. He's not on it.
Yeah, and Dana even came out and said that. They were like, we don't have the fight booked, but the only person we know for sure that they want on the card is Derek Lewis. And then that got pulled from him. But I guess it doesn't really matter. He's there now, and that means Coach Bob, Crew Bob Perez, is going to be there, which is super cool because, as you read history books, it's kind of interesting. Only the biggest things get mentioned in the history books. And it feels to me like a fight and a sporting event like that will wind up making it to the history books in some way or another. And it's just one of those things 100 years from now, the few people that get named on it are going to be in this rare air because it's not going to happen again. I could see them maybe going to Russia and doing a card for Putin or going somewhere and doing something like that. But again, it's a lot of logistics that go into that. And like Dana said, they're not going to make money on that thing. They're going to lose money, but it's so unique that you can't not take that opportunity.
Cool song for Carlos Ulberg. Let me drop it in the chat here.
He doesn't look phased. He doesn't look nervous. He looks like he's cool, calm, and collected. Carlos Ulberg is making his walk to the ring now, boys.
All right, dropping in the chat here in just a second. Who wins the main event? My computer will cooperate with me.
Yuri needs a win or lose just with his career a Mortal Kombat feature.
Did you guys
Yeah.
see Mortal Kombat's coming out with
A second,
Yeah.
a new movie, a new Mortal Kombat, and Chris just had a great idea. Put Yuri Prohaska in there.
he should be Scorpion. That would be
Yeah.
he would make a
Well,
great.
I
Or,
think there should be like
A Yuri.
of the samurai
Yeah.
character.
that would be
Yeah.
dope. Joey, if I owned a katana, I would be holding it in support of Yuri. I love
Yeah.
that.
I've got a bayonet, and I should have brought it, but I didn't think when I was leaving my house tonight.
And we haven't had any nut shots tonight so far, but I did wear my Diamond MMA shirt. Shout out to Diamond. They're a friend and sponsor of the show. And yeah, if you use the promo code Barnhill, if you guys train at all, some people were talking in the chat
Yep.
today about training mixed martial arts and stuff like that. Like having a good cup is an absolute non-negotiable. Like, not to get graphic, but we actually know people that have lost testicles from, training without cups. And Diamond, bar none, is the best in the game. Like Nick and I were customers
Long
for
before,
like 8 years before they ever reached out for a sponsorship. So it's one of those ones that was really easy to say yes to.
yeah,
And shout out to Diamond, diamondmma.com, I believe it is. And if you use the promo code Barnhill, I think you get a 10 or 15% discount. And yeah,
yeah.
there's a Diamond Cup on the ground. And
Yeah, it's one of those non-negotiables. If I ever have a bonehead moment and forget my cup or mouthpiece and drive up to the gym, I don't train if I don't have my cup or my mouthpiece, because it's just, there's too much on the line. You got to protect yourself at all times, as the ref says. And yeah, guys, Diamond MMA, get yourself a cup. You will not regret it. And honestly, whether you go with the jock strap, the compression shorts, get yourself a comfortable, cool shirt like that.
this
can't
is
go
the most
wrong.
comfortable shirt that I own, by the way.
I know. I
Like,
love
I
it.
wear this everywhere.
Yeah, they're so soft. The people that work there are so nice. It's not like a major corporation, right? But they have a major responsibility in protecting not only UFC fighters, and if you could see under most fighters in the UFC shorts, they got Diamond apparel on, and they're protecting themselves with the best. They've also moved into the NHL. They've got some deals with the NHL. They've got, I think, baseball. The MLB is now protecting guys with Diamond. So great people, great company.
Yeah, youth sports as well.
Yep.
My little man's not old enough yet to play sports, but our sister's got 2 in baseball. We need to give her, a couple of these youth ones. But
Yeah.
yeah, check them out. Diamond MMA. Thanks to Diamond. And yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for this main event.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little too big for me. No. No, it's definitely the way to go.
Look
But
at
Yuri
Yuri.
is in there and he is locked in.
As stoic as it gets.
Yeah. Yuri's just one of those guys, and he's never been like the kind of guy to blow up on social media by trying too hard. But when he's just himself and climbing mountains, getting hypothermia and damn near losing a toe because he's climbing some Russian mountain, or he's in Mexico completely by himself on the side of some mountain, like he just can't miss, and he's 100% authentically himself, and that's all you can ask for in an athlete in this sport. Like, we've seen so many people try to be Conor McGregor. We saw the cheap suits to try to mimic the August McGregor suit era. And then, like Sugar Sean, he's one of the only guys that came out and did his own thing and kind of made his own path. Yuri Prohaska is the samurai, man. He is the guy that, like, when we talk about, the legends from hundreds of years ago that are samurais or knights or any of these just warriors, it feels like we got one of them from the past, and he lives here today and fights in the UFC, and his name is Yuri Prohaska.
Very well said, Nick.
Thank you,
That was a beautiful way to describe that.
Yeah, man.
And the samurai, if I might add, looks to be in the best shape that he's ever been in.
Yeah, he looks great.
Running sprints with his mouth taped and his nose plugged and like lifting heavy weights. Of course, training MMA, that's a given. But like it looks like all the other stuff he did really led to him being in superb shape for this fight.
He leaves no stone unturned.
I've never seen Yuri this ripped before.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks great.
I don't know that I've ever had a panic attack, but I think running with my mouth closed and nose closed, I would be freaking out.
Yeah, sprinting with your mouth taped and your nose plugged.
You better learn how to breathe through your
I
ears.
was gonna think, your eyes or something.
Joey said, when the UFC goes back to Japan, Yuri better be on that. 100%. You
Damn
got to
right.
get the samurai in Japan. He's got a main event it.
Imagine a card with like, was it Kai Asakura and Tatsuro Taira, Yuri Prohashka.
And no disrespect to those gentlemen, but the
Yeah.
main eventer is the white samurai, as it were, in Yuri Prohaska.
Yeah, the Czech
samurai.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rogers, that's why I love Corey Sandhagen. He's authentically himself and he's naturally crazy funny.
He is.
Yeah.
I love your Sandhagen made one a while back where he was like, all I want to do is compete. And I think it was like maybe
didn't he do an OnlyFans at some point?
Yeah, I think he made like 2 million showing his sack or something like that. So good for him. Both gentlemen coming in under.
I would gladly do that for $2 million. I'm no shame there. All right, here we go. Buff is announcing, both minus 110K money. Yeah, this is Pick'em.
Yeah, guys, we might do exclusive content one day, but it's
not going to be that.
Not going to.
Not unless we're getting paid $2 million. Johnny says next year we're going to have Josh versus Gable for the heavyweight title.
Let's go for that.
Let's go for that. That's not impossible to think.
And I mean, honestly, Pereira says he just signed an 8-fight deal, so it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere. I don't think he leaves the heavyweight division, but he's going to need some people at the top to ruffle some feathers. And obviously, Gable Stevenson is a tough matchup for him stylistically. I would favor Alex right now, but talk about Hought being there, Gable being there. Hell, Curtis Blades even just inserted himself back into very meaningful territory with that last performance, even losing.
All right.
Buffer's in his white suit. I think that's Super Miami, right?
Miami Crush, yeah. All righty. Roger said, yes, he did. Haha, yeah. Talking about Corey Sandhagen.
Yeah. I like the one. You probably can't see it, but
random,
he was like flicking off the camera and stuff, like double flicking off the camera because he just wanted to fight. And like, I think Sugar was fighting or maybe it was Marab. I don't remember who it was, but he was like, people in my division are fighting and I'm not. And there was a video he made on IG. It was hilarious. And I got to ask, Rogers, if you know confidently that he did do that, I hate to ask, but did you pay? Or are you part of the 2 million that helped Corey on the OnlyFans? Got to know.
I can't imagine who would pay for that, but I guess just the novelty of having a screenshotted picture of Corey Sack is something that people would pay for. But
Corey Sackhagen, Corey Sackhagen.
All righty. Just announced Carlos Ulberg. Now we're going Yuri Prohaska. 32-5-1. Man, Yuri's had some fights. Is that 40?
Yeah. And that's
almost 40 total fights. Wow. And he's still a young guy. I mean, for light heavyweight, 33.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fights. Roger said, not at all. He heard about it in an interview.
Sure you did. No, I'm playing, brother.
Which is so funny to me because like Corey's fan base is probably just like ours, which is 97% male. Like no women know who the hell Corey Sandhagen is. So who was paying for that?
You know what they say, curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah.
And so many guys are probably just like, I just got to see how I size up. Let me size up the one of the best bantamweights in the world.
Let's go for that. All right, here we go, guys. Enough of the OnlyFans talk. Let's call this fight.
Yuri's ready. Ulberg is ready.
Let's go. We'll lock the timer in, and you guys can follow along for the play-by-play. This one should be exciting. Laura Sanko called Yuri the most exciting fighter in MMA. Here we go. Glove touch. Well,
Okay.
Attempted a glove touch. I don't think they actually touched.
No love for Olberg, huh? He's not in the mood to touch gloves.
Opening up with a nice low kick for Carlos Olberg. Yuri hands down as usual. But not quite as down as they are most of the time, but and that Carlos is so defensively sound. The biggest thing in this is I don't think Carlos is going to put himself in any unnecessary danger.
Right.
He's going to force Yuri to bring the fight to him.
Yeah. There it is. First shot landed for Yuri. It looks like a decent punch. Now, Yuri looks like he's able to cover a pretty good distance because he's light on his feet. And while Olberg, of course, is great at managing range, he leans back. We just noticed that first time that Yuri came forward, he just leaned back. And if you double up your attacks as they lean back, there's nowhere for them to go, really.
Good success with the quad kick, the outside quad kick for Carlos Olberg. He's landed about 3 or 4 of those so far.
Yeah.
Carlos looked for a check hook when Yuri rushed in, and that's what Alex Pereira knocked him down with. We talked about that in the deep dive when we did the deep dive video on this fight breakdown.
Yeah.
Was that Yuri does rush in, which makes him susceptible to that check hook sometimes, and it looked like Carlos, he didn't get it, but it looked like he was looking for it.
Yeah, and then Yuri just threw a check hook of his own a second ago.
Yeah, Dean Thomas saying you got to watch the check left hook of Olberg. He must have our stream on in his earpiece.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
So Carlos again not taking a whole lot of chances. Yep, Carlos throwing the check hook again. Looks like a slip there for Olberg, but his back's against the cage now. Beautiful low kick by Yuri.
All right, Yuri is now matching the leg kicks. And it seems he's doing significantly more damage than Olberg.
2 really bad ones right there.
Yeah.
Olberg's leg is compromised now.
Oh, Yuri's down.
Yuri's like, let's just stand and trade if you can't move your leg. Yuri's such a warrior, dude. He could have cracked that leg again.
Yeah, there it is again. Yeah, Olberg is in
serious trouble here if this leg kicks.
We're halfway through the first round, and Olberg is already seriously compromised in that lead leg.
I can tell you already, Olberg cannot go 25 minutes on that leg.
No.
So he's got to look for a way out of this via finish here quickly.
And Yuri.
Beautifully timed by Yuri. Again, he's timing that low kick so well.
Yep.
Olberg may need to think about switching stances here, but I don't know how well he fights out of the opposite stance.
Oh, they're showing his leg right now on the little screen.
It may have been the back leg that. He's got no ability to stand on that leg. This fight's going to be over here soon.
This is like the Van and Pantoja thing, but a different injury.
Well, but also it was Yuri's doing. I mean, I guess you could say it was Josh's doing, but not really.
Yeah, I guess a weird title fight that winds up being,
Yeah, they're gonna stop this fight in a minute. He's got a torn something.
Yeah, he's got banned.
Oh,
he just dropped it.
Olberg with a big shot. Oh my God! Carlos Olberg TKO with
and
the
knew for the first time.
Wow! Oh my God, Carlos Olberg.
Yuri got too comfortable in there.
Yeah, Yuri should have pounded that leg a few more times instead of pointed down and kind of did what he did. Holy shit.
Price. He's out. He's
wow.
done. They've got him back on the stool, but
man, that's exactly what we said Carlos had to do. This fight can't go on. Like, he can't stand. He's got to either get a knockout right now or they're not going to let him continue.
Yep. And Miami has always been good to city kickboxing, so I guess he follows the trend of Izzy and Volkanovski and the other world champions now. Congratulations, Olberg. You are a world champion.
And how about Eugene Behrman? One of the best of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, here's the injury here.
Oh, it's a knee. That's a knee.
You could see the ligament almost that's done.
His knee is ruined.
So here's the shitty part. You're not going to see Olberg defend for a year.
Yeah. So one of the issues.
Look at that check hook. Boom.
Yeah. Took a page out of Pereira's.
What did I say? The hook, dude.
Great ground and pound. Great cover following instincts.
Rogers, one-legged Olberg, baby. That's the new fight boss unlocked. One-legged Olberg.
Yeah, one-legged Olberg, and then Yuri is a dumb ASS. I agree, man. That was the opposite of what you should be doing when you've got a wounded opponent.
You got a wounded opponent, finish them right there. Chop that leg until the ref stops it, or until they fall and can't get up. The ref has to stop it, right?
Right. Remember, we say it's theatrics. At the end of the day, you have to make it look like it's unsafe for somebody to be in there. And he had the opportunity to really hurt Olberg, and instead he started bouncing around and trying to get too fancy.
Yeah,
I hate that for Yuri, but I'm really, you got to give credit where credit's due, and Olberg just rose to the occasion and then some.
Well, I mean, I hate to say it because I'm such a Yuri fan, but that's what happens when you fight with your hands down like that against a really high-level striker. When you're just bouncing around in range.
Chaos versus order. Yeah. Even when
order won,
it gets chaotic, and Olberg still finds a way to generate enough power with a probably torn ACL or meniscus. That's what I would assume it is. It looked like the inside of the knee is what buckled, and PCLs on the outside, MCLs deep on the inside, and then the ACL right there in the front, meniscus right there by the ACL. Those are the first two to go. Trust me, I know.
You've dealt with that a time or two.
Yeah.
K Money says, "Wow, man, that was a crazy comeback. His thigh exploded. Then Carlos comes back and drops him. Just wow. Yeah, I'm shocked too."
And I wish Yuri would have won, but I'm also glad my prediction was right.
Joe, I feel so bad for Yuri. He loves this shit so much. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, I mean,
honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch. I know it's not going to happen next, but those two, we kind of need to see these two compete for a full.
Olberg versus Costa? Not yet.
Yeah,
Costa probably got to do one more.
Yeah.
Olberg versus Hamzat?
That's an awful night for Olberg, I think.
Carlos Olberg. Great night of fights, Joey. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's hear what Carlos has to say. We'll give our final thoughts. And, of course, everybody in the chat, make sure you come back tomorrow evening, sometime around 9 or 10 Central is usually when we drop. We will have our full recap of this card and what's next for everybody. We'll go home. We'll watch the pressers. We'll put our thoughts together, and we will come back and try to deliver the best episode that we can for you tomorrow.
And they're throwing the shirt, the gold and black champions only shirt on Olberg. We're going to hear from the
Joe Rogan interviewing the champ now. Bodies in that the man says, man, that was really low IQ from Yuri. Got too cocky. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yep. He blew out his knee. You see the tense up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have felt that. Yeah.
He says he's got to sort his knee out. Yeah, he's going to have surgery.
Isn't it crazy? One of these two is going to have surgery likely tonight or at least in a week. And it's not Yuri.
Yeah. I mean, way to find a way to win.
Now,
right?
let's see if he does what Yuri did when Yuri won the belt and got injured. He gave up the belt.
Yeah.
Or is Olberg going to hold on to it? And
he ain't giving up shit.
Yeah, I hear that.
Boom.
Beautiful shot.
That's the hook. That's what I told you. When Yuri rushes in, that hook is there. Boom.
What a shame.
And then just hammer fists.
Bouncing his head like a basketball. That's McGregor style ground and pound.
There we go. Johnny said Yuri was trying to be a samurai and fight with honor. Yeah, he was literally trying to tell his opponent, if your knee's effed up, I'll stand right here and fight you. I mean, that's why you love Yuri, but that's why he's not the champion tonight, you know? That's the unfortunate thing. Well, all right. Carlos saying he's the king of the division now. Yeah, exactly. Thanks a couple people joining the chat here just now, or commenting just now. Yuri needs 2 more calf kicks and the title was his opportunity wasted. 7 in Famous X. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Olberg is out for 9 months to a year minimum. Yeah, he's going to have probably ACL, MCL, meniscus, one or more of those tore. And then he's going to probably be in 6 to 9 months of recovery and then get into a fight camp. It'll be 10 to 12 months. Yeah.
And Yuri usually, or Joe Rogan usually doesn't interview people that get knocked out, but you got to hear from Yuri. Let's see what he says.
He said he felt sorry for him.
One of the biggest lessons in my life.
Biggest lesson in mistakes. Yeah.
I still can't understand that fight was won.
Yeah.
I won that fight.
He's so coherent, even though he just got knocked out. He goes,
Yeah.
I know that fight was won, and I had mercy for him, but I made big mistakes.
Yeah.
So his injury and fuck man,
Yeah.
control your guard.
He's on the verge of tears, unfortunately. He's an emotional character,
he
but
is.
man, he lives and
You
dies
got to feel
by
for
the sword.
Yuri, man. You can't do that in the cage. That's a big mistake.
I'm sure it's a huge disappointment from you. You're still one of the best in the world. I know you will be back and better than ever. And thank you again for everything. I will be back. Thank you to everyone for this.
In victory or defeat,
Yeah.
you gotta love.
You
Yuri
got to love
Prochazka.
Prochazka.
He wears his heart on his sleeve, man.
Thank you everybody for your support. I really appreciate it.
DH Ruv brother 4688. Yuri's chin is gone. That is a legit concern. But the thing is, he rushes in, right? Like
Yeah,
he
can
almost
mitigate a lot of
gives the
that.
momentum to the fighter that he needs to. That the
Yeah.
other fighter needs to knock him out.
Yeah.
We might see Yuri in another vacant title fight in a few months. Yep, who knows? It wouldn't surprise me.
Honestly, I mean, you know, Olberg should follow the code of the samurai and give that belt if he's going to be out for a year.
Yeah.
We can't just hold up divisions. And honestly, I bet you if Hamzat beats Sean Strickland, he looks to go up.
Yeah.
And if he's ready to go for champ status, they are going to strip Olberg.
Is that Olberg's dad? Looks just like him.
It could be.
Let's see here. Hought win offsets the Yuri apocalypse. That's a funny one. Yeah, I agree. That was a hell of a fight, man. Yuri being chinned a couple times now with his style as well. I don't know how promising him being a champ is again, agreed.
And who's the KO performance probably goes to Costa, right? The fight of the night goes to Blades and Hought.
100%.
And I bet you he's the other performance of the night. But again, it wasn't even that insane of a shot.
Yeah.
It was just a careless error from Yuri.
Big mistake for Yuri. So
The game of inches cannot be played with mistakes.
we got 3 fight nights, guys. Next, Burns Malat, Sterling Zalal, and Della Maddalena and Prates.
Now that's a good one.
We'll do a live for at least one of those. I don't know if I'm getting up at 6 a.m. for the main card for Australia, but maybe we'll do a live recap of that. That might be a good one. to
Yeah,
do.
or we'll definitely be covering all those fights, that's for sure, and deep dives and all that stuff. But man, I hate that for Yuri. Again, I picked Olberg to win this fight. I thought it would go a little bit longer than that. We can't account for things like freak injuries, but any guy that can rise to the occasion with one of their legs completely shredded, I mean, that's championship caliber right there. That's what champs are made out of.
Yeah.
Is the next 205 title fight Hamzat versus Yuri?
The next 205 title fight will probably – they may do an interim. I mean, Yuri may get into an interim title fight. I could see them doing that because it's going to really depend on what happens with the diagnosis for Carlos Olberg. I believe he's got more than one torn ligament in his knee, just the way – Nick, from your injuries and the things that you've dealt with in the past to, just kind of being around and seeing some fighters with some pretty gnarly knee injuries, I bet he's got a tear in more than one ligament. If he doesn't, I'll be shocked.
It takes a long time to get back to world title fight,
So let's play it out real quick, right? So he's probably going to have surgery within the week.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably fly him to Vegas and let, one of the surgeons that works with the UFC there do the surgery. Within a week, and then what? You're walking again off crutches in what, a month or
no? I was on. I have okay. So just so everybody knows, I have a torn ACL and is currently incompetent. But I move around on it fine. It tore twice. One time a clean tear was repaired. A bucket handle tear of the meniscus was repaired. and then a not fully torn MCL. That one never got worked on. It took me 3 months on crutches, and then 3 months. Well, that's why I went into boxing from MMA, because I thought I'd never be able to kick or get kicked or wrestle again.
Yeah.
It took me several years to actually get my leg all the way back to 100%. And, if it's the ACL, it's 3 months on crutches. If it's the meniscus and the ACL, you're looking at about 3 months. And if it's the meniscus, you can get away with about 2 months on crutches, but then it's another 3 or 4 months before you actually feel confident in moving on that leg. That's
Now,
just personal experience.
What about the acceleration with the UFC, PI, and peptides and ways to well?
Well, they're not allowed to use peptides.
They can't use
unless they come out of competition, which if they come out of competition, he then has to strip
But
himself.
they can't use legal peptides?
Apparently not.
Yeah.
But if you do go do what Conor did, remember Conor broke his leg and then he got out of the testing pool, got himself cleaned up, and then had to take 6 months getting tested clean.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a slippery slope for the new champion just as he gets the belt.
DT, thank you so much. We got a new member in the Barnhill family.
Let's go.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Subscribe to the members part of that. We got to start populating some good content in there, and we appreciate all of you. 33 in the chat now.
Seriously, thank you guys.
JL says lucky ass knockout. Yeah, I mean, Yuri had that fight won. It was kind of Yuri's fault.
That probably rocked a bunch of people's parlays, because just reading online, everybody was going for Yuri and thought we were crazy for picking Olberg. Now,
I still think Olberg could have won that fight. I mean, the knee injury was weird, and it wasn't. I thought it was off of the same leg that Yuri kicked, and so I was like, okay, well, that's a legit. I mean, yeah, if you kicked it and you tore something, that's good on you. But it was the other leg, so it was the way he stepped. Now, yes, it did come from a strike that Yuri did to the bottom half.
And I'll say it fooled you, but it also fooled Yuri. Yuri thought the lead leg was the one that was compromised.
Right.
If he would have been able to somehow, it's harder to kick the back leg, but there are ways to get there. You usually have to feint some sort of hook to pull yourself over to the far side, and then you can chop. If he would have been privy to that information, he could have done it. Instead, he was chopping the wrong leg.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it, guys. It's 11:06 p.m. Central Time. We are going to call it a night, and we're going to go rest up, watch the post-fight press conference, and we will be back. Make sure you come back tomorrow. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe.
Yes.
Hit that bell notification so you don't miss.
Go onto the
drop.
short platforms too, like Instagram and TikTok, guys. We're always in the comment sections over there on especially on TikTok. We've got tons of new growth over there, so we're always in the chats. YouTube, of course, is where the home is for the podcast and the full episodes. But we appreciate any and all support that you guys give us. This has been a hell of a ride, and we're only just getting started. So just keep tuning in. We appreciate you.
Yes, and one more thing, and I won't ask for anything else tonight, I promise. And this is a free thing that I'm asking for. If any of you listen to audio podcasts on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we're growing on all the visual, the YouTube, the TikTok, the Instagram. I don't know what the hell we're doing wrong, but we are stagnant on the audio-only podcast. And so what we're reading, it says if people go and subscribe to either Apple or Spotify and you leave us a review, preferably a 5-star one if you would be so kind, that helps tremendously with the audio only. So if any of you could do that for us, we would substantially appreciate it.
And one other thing, we've got a giveaway coming. More details on it this week. Diamond MMA, that's the only clue I'll give you right now. We got some really cool gifts from Diamond MMA, and we're going to be giving them out to subscribers. So, yeah, make sure you leave us that 5-star review if you can. And, guys, we appreciate every single one of you, as always.
For sure. Seven Infamous, always appreciate your content. Thank you for the stream. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for joining.
Seriously.
But that Hought fight, he is a superstar in the making. JL, I totally agree.
I agree.
Bodies in. I had a feeling that Costa and Olberg were going to get the W's. You were right, my friend. I picked Mirzakhanov, but I did have Olberg. And
also, we got another fight added to the White House card. Derek Lewis, our H-Town brother, he is on there with Josh Hought. So, obviously, we've got some serious heavyweight entertainment coming to the White House card, which I think that card needed. And they beefed it up a little bit extra for us. So I'm excited for that one. I'll try to get some insider scoop on that, and hopefully I can bring it to y'all soon.
Guys, that's it. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Come back tomorrow evening, and we will have a piece of content recapping the entire event and giving our thoughts on what's next for everybody. Until then, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.